Truth, justice, and the Big Sills way. The only place you get that line, and the only place that you truly get the truth. The other day, somebody compared my little sandbox to New Heights podcast. Okay? Look at little old Sills trolling for 600 likes. How can you compare yourself to Jason Kelce? Easy. So Kelce responds to me on my Twitter. And let me actually, and by the way, want to start the program off by saying we are officially powered by our friends at BetUS. And I've got all you stunads, or some of you stunads in here, that think those Eagle guys don't listen. So, Jason Kelce was on WIP. He makes critical decisions when it means the most. And by and large, he gets those really right. I'll say this. Wholeheartedly, he's the best team meeting coach I've ever been around. He's talking, of course, referencing Nick Sirianni. And he holds people accountable. To which Big Sills responded, sorry, Jason Kelce, but the Eagles don't need a coach that gives Newt Rockne speeches at halftime. They need a coach that makes great game day decisions and stays out of the way of his coaches. And for the record, his 2023 moves were a train wreck, and it's carried over so far into the 2024 season. And he responded back, I have disagreed with a couple of them, but I still have faith. Newt Rockne's speech, damn, I haven't heard that name in a minute. I'm about to listen to a clip to get me through this lift. Okay, guy, he randomly makes a comment about a coach who's the dumbest coach in pro football. And I completely disagree with the guy. The guy, look, for the record, I get he's a company guy. Jason Kelce's got to be a company guy. I completely get it. You want to be able to have access to the NovaCare Center? You want to be able to be considered a guy who can roam freely in that organization? Absolutely, man. I don't begrudge a guy doing that, but don't lie. Don't come out and be a PR guy or an extension of Bob Lang. This is what I talk about. So how can you be critical of Mike McCarthy making calls or Mike McCarthy running the Cowboys when you know deep in your heart Nick Sirianni is a worse coach than Mike McCarthy? I mean, hey, am I biased towards Jimmy Johnson? Yeah, but Jimmy don't coach right now. Nick Sirianni is the worst game day coach in National Football League, and in today's game, than any other guy that's in the league. There's no doubt about it. Get this, flexing. I'm getting smashed. I thought I told his ass off. Dude, stupid take. Getting smashed. If that's getting smashed, I'll take that victory lap every day. Flexing's daddy. AKA Big Sills is Flex's daddy. How you doing? Hey, by the way, I thought the Eagle guys don't listen to us. How you doing? See Abe in here. Congratulations. Abe, thank you for your following and being a team member here. We appreciate it. Even that dude, Prince, I got to thank Prince for being a member now and, whatever, okay? Oh, thank you, Prince. And Terry, for now a JAKIB legend. The first JAKIB legend. Congratulations to you, Terry. Xander's got something in store. I don't know what it is yet, but he's got something in store for you. So we'll see what that ends up being. But congratulations to all you guys. Thank you, Abe. I appreciate. Hey, by the way, all good, man. It's true, y'all. Hey, it's true, y'all. What is it true? Your boys over at the Eagles listen to the program? Damn right it's true. How you doing? Holy cow. By the way, tonight the Cowboys season could end. So if you want to feel good about yourselves tonight, because you got a really tough game coming up, because you don't know what kind of team you're going to be sending to Tampa. And by the way, our good friends in Florida right now and down on the East Coast, make sure you take cover and you're safe down there, because those hurricanes are nothing to sneeze at down there. And we've been through a bunch of them. So go right ahead, and we appreciate you guys running out of there. Get out of that state right now for a little bit, because it thing looks like it's going to be a Hurricane 4, and it's going to be a Category 4. So make sure you take cover down there, man. All right? So we appreciate that, man, that you guys get a lot of love right now from a lot of folks here. Abe, I appreciate you doing that, by the way, man. All good. You're a loyal guy, man. Thank you, Sills. No worries. Love the channel. Bodis and Birds 365. Johnny Mac, I like him. It's grown on me. Pre- and post-game showers, banging. Thank you so much, man. You guys are great. Absolutely. Absolutely great. Yo, Sills, in your days here in Tampa, what was your old place for a gentleman on Dale Mabry by Ray J? Are you talking about Mons Venus there? Roast pork Italian? You ain't talking about Mons Venus with good old Joe there, are you? You're not talking about Joe Redner, are you? Not my dear friend Joe Redner. You're not talking about him, are you, brother? Come on now. Oh, wait, no, but my food place was Leroy Selman's, right off of Dale Mabry there. Sills, Lit Brothers, me, Kelce isn't thinking more about his teammates when rather than defending the front office. Now, Kimberly, I get what you're saying here. Guy's got to think more about his teammates. He's looking out for the front office because he's covering for the front office. Kimberly, you're dead on, man. Okay? Joe, how you doing? Hurricane party on with Big Sills. How you doing? We'll see what happens this weekend. That's going to be a weather game, by the way, at Raymond James. Make no mistake about it. It'll be humid. Those fat guys better be ready to play down there at Raymond James, because it's going to be hot and it's going to be poor weather. Run game's going to be essential in that football game, I think, come Sunday. Sills, I hated this show when I started watching it in 21, but it's grown on me. Hey, Xander, how many of these do we get a week, a day? How many? Do you understand? That is the story of my radio and my broadcasting career, Kyle. Nobody likes Big Sills at first. He's arrogant. He's loud. He's Italian. He thinks he knows it all. But in the end, I don't know any of them. I'm just a dude like you, Kyle, who has a loud mouth. I'm no different than you, Kyle. Okay? Our paths are just different. But I'm like you. Okay? Get this. This is another one of my favorites. I hate Twiz too. But I still fucking love the show and I still watch. Oh, wait, he hates the fucking show, but he watches for 4 hours every day. I don't know what to tell. I think Twiz has got an emotional problem. I think he's got an emotional problem. I don't know what it is. It's kind of like like crack cocaine or something. This guy's got a problem. Was mad when I saw the Birds were coming down week 4. Still too hot out to enjoy a game. I'll be on my couch. And too humid at that place too. Raymond James, you could cook yourself an egg on a car hood out there in them tailgate parties. That's for damn sure. But I think it's going to be humid out there, man. Okay? Honestly, Sills knows he's going to get fired from JAKIB once the allegations come out. Yeah, okay. Must be a media guy conjuring more shit up. If Howie misses on Huff, he deserves to be fired. No, because he can turn around and go, Zach Bond's playing all pro football. Okay? Still speaks the truth. It's the only sports show I see, apart from maybe Emmanuel Acho, where I actually learn more about the sport of football. I actually like Acho too, man. I like that thing. I don't like the name of the show, but I actually like that show too. I do. Okay. Wayne, I was at the Bucks opener versus Washington in the East Stands at Raymond James. It was nasty hot. Wayne, Tampa gets hot as hell, man. Especially in September. No shit. Absolutely. All right. Hey, we got to thank you very much. New member. Very good, man. Jersey, thank you for becoming a new member, man. Means a lot. By the way, all super chats go to the top. And we are looking for likes. I know that, Jason Kelce and Travis Kelce have new heights and they get 15,000 in my little sandbox. And I know some of you compare it to that, which is great, and I appreciate that. But we'll take our little 600 likes today. If we could possibly get there, I'd appreciate it. So thank you guys very much. It's just little old me and Xander and Big Joe and John McMullen here fighting the big guys and responding to Jason Kelce and other Eagles like Devontae Smith and guys each and every single week. That's what we do here. I don't know what makes us special compared to some of those other places. But, we're working in our little sandbox. look at Senor. Comparing, what is it? Sills to new heights is comparing Jalen Hurts to Josh Allen. I'll take that. I don't mind being Scottie Pippen. I always found that funny. Oh, I did. People always rip Pippen for being the second guy in Chicago. 6 NBA titles, one of the top 50 players in the history of the sport. And like I said, he's got 6 NBA championships. Are you cool being Scottie Pippen? Yeah. I'd rather be Scottie Pippen than Charles Barkley. How you doing? How you doing? He goes like this. Flexing goes, sidekick. Did Jordan ever win a title without Scottie Pippen? I must have missed those first 9 years. I must have missed those first 9 years when he was getting blown out by the Pistons and the Celtics. How you doing? All right, let's move on here. Hey, we got a special guest on today. Very rarely do I really like some of the media guys, especially in Philly, but I like Marcus Hayes, and he's coming on at 5:30 Eastern from the Philadelphia Inquirer. He'll be on with us at 5:30 today. Xander in his normal spot at 3:30, but Marcus Hayes will be on with us at 5:30 Eastern. And we'll let him cut loose. I admire his work. I do. I admire his work. I like his work. You know why? He writes with a pen that has no fear. And I like him. And I've been trying for a couple weeks to get his ass on, and we finally landed it. So we're going to get him on at 5:30 Eastern time today. And I think we're going to save Angelo for Monday because I want to see what's up. I want to see what's up come Sunday with your birds. By the way, the injury list will come out today. We'll find out which guys are scheduled to play and not play. My bet is no Lane Johnson, no Devontae Smith, and no A.J. Brown. How you doing? You're going into Tampa without those 3 horses. Okay? Little different football team. This is a big game for Jalen Hurts. This is a big game for Hurts, man. All right. I want to do something. We're going to have some fun here, by the way. We're going to do, Abe, this came out when you suggested this. We're going to do our player grades. We'll do that later. We got a quarterback comparison, but I first want to start it out with this one. Since the 2022 season, Has Jalen Hurts gotten better since he signed his $250 million contract? Has he gotten better at quarterback? Has he gotten better at quarterback? Since he signed the deal, has he gotten better? Then I'm going to tie it into another topic. Okay? No, because he has too many different offensive coordinators. Easily beat the Bucs when running the ball last year. Yeah, they beat the fuck out of you in the playoff game. His completion percentage is up. I didn't ask you that. I asked you if you thought he was a better quarterback since 2022 when he signed his contract. That's not what I asked you about. Completion percentage, passing, anything. I'm just asking you, eyeball test, do you think he's better? It has gotten better since 2022. Has he gotten better at quarterback? Some areas, yes, some no. Yes, after Kelce left, learning blitzes and schemes, more responsibilities. No. He got worse with the turnovers. He sure has. That's a fact. Okay? Hey, that's a fact. His turnovers since he signed the contract have skyrocketed. 26 since the contract. And then I'm going to tie something in here. Okay? Abe says it's too early to tell. He's 5 years into the league and it's his fourth year starting, Abe. How many more fucking years do you need? You don't know when you look at him? Shit, I'll tell you one thing. I look at Jaden Daniels. I see a really good-looking prospect. I don't need to have 39 games to sit here and try to tell me whether the guy's good or not good. It's a simple question. Has he gotten better since the $250 million deal? Yes or no? I'm not asking about Dak, Bobby. I'm asking you about Jalen Hurts. Has he gotten better? Look at this. Darnell says yes. Dude, that guy since 2022 hasn't outplayed Baker Mayfield. Since 2022, he hasn't outplayed Mayfield heading into this game. He hasn't. You're trying to tell me you think Jalen Hurts has gotten better as a quarterback. Some of you guys are blind as a bat. Did Tom Brady? I'm not talking about Tom Brady. I'm talking about the player you gave $255 million to. Darnell says yes. Darnell, where has he gotten better as a quarterback on your football team? I think the team wins in spite of him and the coach. But go ahead. You tell me where he's gotten better. Reading defenses? Absolutely not. Blitz pickup? Looks good so far. Yes. Decision-making? Absolutely not. Turnovers? Horrific. Where's he gotten better? Picking up blitzes? Hey, Rome wasn't built in a day. Is that what you're saying? Okay, he got better on blitzes. He got better throughout. He's not a better passer. Okay? Here's Lionel. Guys, please hit the like button. He still leaves the pocket too early. No question. Enforces things. Just slow down and let the game come. He has improved slightly against the blitz this year. He has. But I think he's made the right strides he needs to make. Okay, Lionel. That's a fair assessment. Let's see here. That I don't agree with, Prince. Well, the Get Up analyst said 22 was his peak, so you'll probably run with that. I don't believe he's peaked. That I fucking don't believe in, ass bag. I don't believe that. I think if he continues to do what he does and continues to improve, I think he'll be real good next year. But there's a lot on his plate. Hit his peak? No. What they're missing is that's the best team that Jalen Hurts will ever play on is that 22 team. I said that to you before. Okay? That's what I said. That he'll never play with a better team than that. That's the best team he'll play with. He got better at turning it over more. Right, absolutely. Okay? Well, here, Prince, I'll tell you why. Don't assume what I'm going to say, kid. No one knows what I'm going to say. Not even you there, Nostradamus. I actually like this guy. I don't know why we have this adversarial relationship. I don't know. By the way, I even gave him kudos. Made me want to throw up, but hey, whatever. Okay? Hey, whatever. And occasionally he'll have a decent take. Really, the Get Up guy said that he hit his peak in 2022. Stop crying, Prince. Shit. You shit on me all day. Holy cow, this guy's moaning. That I don't agree with. I think if he continues to play the way he is, and he continues and takes the turnovers away, okay, I think he's got an opportunity at being a better player. Do I think an elite player? No. No, I do not. Okay? No, I do not. But here, let me take you through the numbers here. So since 2022, Baker Mayfield, 566 attempts, 364 completions, 4,044 yards passing, 28 touchdowns, 10 picks, 94 quarterback rating. This year so far, 61-82, 637, 6 touchdowns, 2 picks, 110.7 quarterback rating. Here's Jalen Hurts so far from 23 to now. 538 attempts, 352, 38-58, 23 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, 89-1 last year. And so far out of the gate, 102 passes, 72 completions, 772 yards, 3 touchdowns, 4 picks, 85-9. Baker Mayfield in 2 years, or a game in 3 games, a year in 3 games, has outplayed him. And let me say this to you about winning. So let me get this right, just to be fair here, right? So Hurts was 11-6 last year, correct? And so far this year, he's 2-1. So you think 13-7 in the last 2 years is winning? Let's see what Mayfield is. Mayfield is actually, let's do this because he lost that playoff game. So that's so let's do this. He lost that playoff game. So that's 8. He's 13-8 in the last 2 years. Baker Mayfield, 10-9 and 2-1. Well, Baker Mayfield's 12-10. I mean, okay. What are we talking about with winning here? You going to keep hanging your hat on 22 season? Because recently, he's just a little above 500. Big Sills, I don't always agree with you, but I'm glad you covered the toughest city in the United States. We complement each other well. Hurts is still growing. Completely agree. I agree. Who's blocking Vita Vea, Sileo? Guys, Mammoth. I'm not sure he's playing. Yet to be determined. We'll find out today, AJ. Guys, please hit the like button. So Jalen Hurts since the start of the 2023 season is 13-8. Baker Mayfield, hold on here. 9-8, 10-9, right? And this year he's 2-1. He's 12-2. Wait, Jalen's got one more win than him. And he's outplayed him and beat him and 1-1 against him. Who would you take in this game on Sunday? Not for the year, on Sunday. With limited talent around him, Jalen. Paris Campbell, Jahan Dotson, and Johnny Wilson versus Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Mayfield, who's played. I'm taking Mayfield. Got better talent. At home. He's outplayed him. I mean, where's your advantage? Because this is not Josh Allen. This is not Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts. He's not going to elevate his game through Paris Campbell and throw for 350 yards. The reason the Eagles are where they are is because of Barkley, not Hurts. Your defense has had one. Get this. Akbar, show me where Baker Mayfield has outplayed Jalen Hurts. Show me where he's outplayed him. Anywhere. He's got one more win. He's got a playoff win over him. And he's outperformed them. And in the last 10 games, he's 10-3. Hurts is 3-7. Get this. Baker's a bust. So a bust quarterback blew your doors off in a playoff game. That's embarrassing. Thanks, Dick Maddock. Where's he outplayed him? Where's he outplayed him? Hey, I want to give him the benefit here. I'm saying Sunday. I'm not saying for the remainder of the year. When they get AJ and Devontae back, I'm not saying that. I'm asking you for Sunday. Sunday. Who are you taking? Who are you taking? Baker was the number one pick. That shit don't matter because you know why? Money matters. Making $50 million. Nobody cares where you're drafted anymore. That's Tom Brady. That's nothing. That doesn't matter anymore. I didn't ask you what team you're taking. I asked you what quarterback you would take. And you're going to take Jalen Hurts with Johnny Wilson, Jahan Dotson. Who's the other guy? Who's the other guy? I forgot. Jahan Dotson. Oh, Paris Campbell. That's your wide receiving core going in. Okay. Yes, sir. Holy shit. This was closer than I thought. Higher quarterback rating since the start of the 23 season. More yards, more TDs. Shit, look at this. Here's what Mayfield's done in a year and 3 games. 9, 10, 11, 12. He's got 34 touchdowns and 12 picks. Hurts has 26 touchdowns and 19 picks. I mean, I'm shit. Where we go? And Johnny Ross. I forgot about Johnny Ross. All right. It's pretty cool you can pick and choose what years to compare. Those are the latest. What about Baker's earlier? Nobody cares about what Baker did his first 2 years in Cleveland. They only care what they're doing right now. In the latest game that he did, he beat the pants off you. I'm going since Jalen. I asked the question was, since Jalen got his money, has he gotten better? He hasn't played better than Mayfield. Do you understand how poorly he's playing? Baker Mayfield's outplaying him. He's got one more win than him. Baker Mayfield's got more He's got a better playoff record than him since he signed his contract. Do you understand this? Hurts had to spread the ball around, which he will. Okay. What? Because he's some sort of great progression reader? Stat watching? How about head to head? What do you mean stat watching? Did I miss that playoff game where you guys showed up in Tampa last year and got your shit kicked in? What's stat watching? I must have missed that game, or you did. Still, so what are you saying? So Hurts should still win without wide receivers this weekend like Allen? Absolutely. Sam, where are you again? Let me put that back up there. Sam got the exercise. That's right, Sam. Jalen with his legs. Sunday, Baker, better numbers Sunday. Jerron, I said this to you at the start of the season. Jalen Hurts can't win games with his arm. He can win games being Jalen Hurts. And that's what he does. He's not going to be, and in a game that could be a weather game, Hurts may have to carry the ball 25 times Sunday, and they'll win. But the exercise like Sam got, no excuses. Your franchise tag and your elite quarterback status is on the line Sunday. I'll make a point to you. Okay? Hey, Paris, I don't give a fuck about that. I haven't for 34 years. I don't care. You're here 4 hours a day. Thank you. You're out of your mind. If you think I say shit, like, you're out of your gourd. I don't even know what I said yesterday. In a rain game, let's watch Jalen maneuver himself around this football field on Sunday and get a win. And you know what I'll say on Monday? Do you know what I'll say on Monday? That is a great win for Jalen Hurts when his team needed him the most. He doesn't have anything. What? I'm awake, are you? Delusional about what? What are you talking about here since he got the money? What am I lying about? Get this. I'm awake, are you is telling me that I'm delusional when Hurts has had the most turnovers of any quarterback in pro football since the start of the 23 season. Mayfield's outplayed him. Mayfield's got one less win than him, and Mayfield's beat him in a postseason. What's delusional? What am I not saying? By the way, that stupid shit about getting to a Super Bowl, Rex Grossman got to a Super Bowl. Honestly, Jimmy Garoppolo got to one. A team can carry you. The question, once again, you really think that guy is playing better football since he got the contract? Do you really? Do you really think? I don't. Well, they still play with this hurricane. Hey, man, the NFL didn't cancel a game when President Kennedy was shot. What makes you think they're going to cancel a game for a hurricane? That thing better be right on top of Tampa for them to move that game. Okay? They better move. That thing better be right. The eye better be over Raymond James. Ryan goes, I live in Florida. Hurricanes aren't a big deal. Ryan, Cat 4s are kind of big deals. Okay? Okay, I mean, right? And why are we acting like Hurts wasn't better than Baker when we were 10-1 and they were 4-7? Sileo's consistently, no. I'm asking you a question. Since 2023, when he got his contract and they gave him his $255 million, that's the topic. Has he gotten better? The answer is no. He hasn't even outplayed Mayfield, who's actually gotten better since being worse. Baker's gotten better. And I don't think shit of him. I'm not a Baker Mayfield fan. Could care less. I'm asking you a question. Do I like Baker Mayfield more than Hurts? No, but the numbers say he's outplayed him. I'm not trying to sit here and go like this. Hey, you want to know Baker Mayfield is such a great... No, I'm not saying that. I think Baker Mayfield's an average quarterback. I think he's a little above average. But if your guy's not a little bit above him, what is he? What is he? Get this. I have the wins and the numbers to prove it so far since he got his contract. You guys just have hope. Like Xander said yesterday, I think he's going to have a great game Sunday. Well, I'll tell you what. Let me show you something. Let me tell you what he's done. (10-1) Jalen was an MVP race. Baker never was. What's that tell you? Dude, what in the world do you tell? Okay, Baker Mayfield was the only quarterback that turned around the Browns, who had conveyor belts of quarterbacks go in there, actually take their team to a winning record and put them in the playoffs. Okay? Yeah. He stopped that conveyor belt. And by the way, let me ask you this. You think the Browns made the right choice by not sticking with him? Who do you think they'd rather have right now? Baker Mayfield or Deshaun Watson? Let's do that question. Who do you think right now the Browns would rather have as their quarterback? Baker Mayfield or Deshaun Watson? I think that's a dumb question. Who do you think Kevin Stefanski would rather have? All super chats, they all go to the top. I appreciate you guys. All you have to do is watch the film. He's been turning the ball over. He's been inconsistent. Even the broadcast was calling him a turnover machine. God, you can't say that shit in here, but you're right. Nobody on the planet around the country is not saying this about Hurts except the people in Philly. They're the last to agree with it. I'm saying 2 years Jalen was at least in the race. Okay? Now you're talking about him being the turnover machine and has the highest turnovers of any quarterback in 2 years. Best thing that ever happened to Baker was the Browns gave up on him. Great take, Daniel. Thank you. Okay? Dan, thank you. And this is probably true. Baker wouldn't be playing like that in Cleveland. Probably true. Okay? So this is a battle of who is the better Oklahoma quarterback, Jalen or Baker. Just like Jaden Daniels versus Burrow. I would have said you were absolutely insane putting Jaden Daniels next to Joe Burrow. I don't know. Okay? I really like Jaden Daniels. You realize this? If Washington wins this week and the Eagles lose, Washington will be in first place sole in the NFC East. Sills, I think the Eagles last year were emotionally and psychologically checked out because of the dysfunction in the organization and coaching. Sills, is a dysfunction still hanging over the team? Yeah. Because your coach is still there. You got a guy in Jason Kelce lying to the fan base and going on the radio at WIP and telling you that Nick is a great rah-rah coach and he's a great team meeting coach. I don't want a fucking team meeting coach. I want a coach who is a game day decision coach. I want a guy who gets out of my coach's way and allows my coaches to coach and my players to play. I don't need a rah-rah coach or Harry High School or some Newt Rockne speech at halftime or pregame. That stuff no one listens to. You're motivated by your paychecks and your play. No other NFL player is motivated by anything other than that. Your paycheck and your play. Because your play dictates your paycheck. That's the only thing that you're obligated to. Play the best you can so you can continue to get paid. Loyalty? Why? The organization, you think they were loyal to Hassan Reddick, who delivered 30 sacks in 2 years, did everything he was asked to do? And what do? They turn around and they hire a stiff in his place, and the Eagles got what they deserved. You treat Reddick like shit, you got it put back on you with a stiff. Hassan Reddick, I'm not saying he's right by killing $9 million either. His agent and him are dumbasses. But at the end of the day, Hassan Reddick did nothing but be the best defensive football player on your team. He delivered for you. He wrecked an NFC championship game. You know how the Eagles rewarded him? By signing a stiff. Loyalty? Give me a break. There's no such thing as loyalty. That league doesn't have an idea what loyalty is. Nobody cares. Loyalty. What did Reddick do wrong not to get a contract extension? Shit, you extended a wide receiver in A.J. Brown who had 2 more years remaining. You had a guy who gave you 30 sacks in 2 years. You don't want to pay him. You got what you deserved. Nolan Smith and Hassan Reddick. 2 stiffs. You know what I get out of this? Xander telling me yesterday, hey, Sills, he didn't really play all that bad. Like, there's an epiphany that he showed up, Nolan Smith. That's the bar? Wow. Nice edge rushers. Nice edge rushers. You can see how the players feel about Sirianni when they make a huge play and Sirianni chases them down the field and celebrates. They ignore him. Yeah, because he's a high school coach. Okay? Believe me. I swear we will not have a single day on this program where we can enjoy an upcoming game. Dude, nobody in the NFL enjoys getting ready for a game. You got high anxiety. You're not expecting a win. You got to go out there and do your best because you don't know what's going to be thrown at you. You don't even know who's going to be active. Most of the time, I'll tell you why Prince is such an asshole and has no idea what he's talking about. Players don't even know the record of their team sometimes when they get into the middle of the season. You know why? Because every week is its own battle. Every week is a different chapter in the book. Every week. You don't know what you're going to... Like, look at this week with the Eagles. You don't know what you have. How can you be enjoying an upcoming game when you have your star players out? Lane, AJ, and Devontae. And you're good with it? Okay. Enjoy yourself, Prince. No problem. We need logical coach in critical moments. Yeah, Jason Kelce's trying to tell you that he likes a rah-rah guy, like a Newt Rockne speech or some shit. Okay? Isaiah, this channel is Sills pointing out the negative parts of our team. Even at 22 was negative about Jalen every week, all the way up to the Super Bowl. Funny, Isaiah doesn't put out there, though, that I picked you to go to the Super Bowl. You forgot that too, didn't you? You forgot that too, right, Isaiah? I was the first guy in Philly to say that I think you have a Super Bowl team and I think you're going. Did you forget that too, Isaiah? And I don't remember being all that negative about Hurts the way he was playing. Because I like that 22 version. I told you flat out. Isaiah, do you forget that? That I picked you to go to Super Bowl that year? Before anybody else did? That's a great sign, Kyle, if that's true. It's a great sign. Okay? What's the matter, Isaiah? You forgot? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Of all people to cry. Now you want to hype up. I'm not hyping up Baker. I just got through telling you I'm not even a Baker Mayfield fan, Sturdy. I'm telling you where you are with your guy heading into this game. You're missing the point again. Baker Mayfield? You actually think I think he's an elite quarterback in the NFL? Absolutely not. Yes, agreed. RC3. Sills just tells us things this team is going through that will keep us from winning a Super Bowl. Buddy, Daniel, you could be coached by a coach. The rest of these guys couldn't be. Prince couldn't be coached. Not in a million years. The stuff he pointed out is why we didn't win. Look, I told you, at the beginning of the year, Hurts was going to have a bumpy start. Okay? A bumpy start. I anticipated this. But the key is he's winning. Do I put a premium on that over everything? Absolutely. Dude, you're paid in this league to totally put your team in a position to win football games. Does Hurts do that? That's the most important thing any quarterback can do. The guys who get paid like Kirk Cousins, you could say whatever you want about Kirk Cousins' number. You know, he's got a better win percentage than what Matthew Stafford has. He has a better win percentage. He's won more football games than Matthew Stafford. Stafford's won the game. You know, Matthew Stafford has an under 500 record. I remember being 10-0 last year and being so unhappy and not pleased, and Dan agreed with all I saw. I know I wasn't crazy. They were lucky to be 10-1. I don't look at the record, my friend. I look at how you're playing. And I look at 3 games. Like that defense playing against New Orleans. That's aggravating to me. You guys are happy about it. That's aggravating to me. You know why? You're telling me that's the potential that team could be playing with at a weekend and weekend basis, and you can't do that every single time those 2 D tackles line up and go out and play. You're paid to play like that. You're drafted in those positions to play like that. You're expected to play like that. And when you're not, you're cut. That's my position. Dude, are you under some impression that this is not a results league? This is not about liking anybody. I don't give a shit about anybody on that team. I don't care. I could care less. They mean as much as me as a can of paint. All I care about is winning. And whatever face that is and whatever name that is on the back of the jersey, that's all that matters. That's how the organization looks at it. That's how everybody in that league looks at it. The only people that look at it differently are people like Howie Roseman and people that aren't real football people. They fall in love with their draft picks, Jerry Jones included. And that's where you get in trouble. Look at Mike Tomlin right now, how he's handling the Justin Fields situation. He won't commit with Fields. Why? Because he's not playing good enough football that Mike wants to have a shot at the Super Bowl. They're 3-0. Mike won't commit because he's not playing good enough football for them to win a championship. Let me tell you something here. There is the difference between watching a great quarterback and turning around and watching what's looking out to be a really nice reclamation project. Baker Mayfield is a reclamation project. You think Baker Mayfield is going to take that Buck team to a Super Bowl? No way. Geno Smith. Great story. 3-0 Seattle. Look at how good he's played since he's been in Seattle. You think Geno Smith's going to take you to a Super Bowl? Do you really think that? That's a nice story. That's not a Super Bowl quarterback. You know what I'm saying? That's Justin Fields. Look at the shit going on in Chicago. You think Justin Fields is going to win a Super Bowl? Absolutely not. They're 3-0. There's very few quarterbacks that you look at in the NFL and you go, that guy's going to carry a team to the Super Bowl and win it. I'll tell you something that I've been impressed with. Brock Purdy's playing great football. He plays the position great. I'm paying him $60 million. I'm giving that guy $60 million bucks. He's a good player. He understands the progressions, and he understands what Kyle Shanahan wants of him. And he does it. I'll tell you what, since he's been a starter, can you remember a game where he sucked? Do you remember a game where he sucked? I don't remember a game where you went, that guy stunk. He's good, man. Hey, by the way, like I said, I mean, there's certain stories that are great. Right? I mean, then you look at quarterbacks and you go, can that guy win do you think that guy's winning me a Super Bowl? Like this weekend for Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is playing Josh Allen. Both those guys need that game. You got to beat elite quarterbacks. That's Jalen's strength. Winning just needs more reps in the new offense. I believe he has the willingness to master it if the OC actually stays. Jerron, okay? Agreed. Okay? Okay? Agreed. I'm further back, Dan, but I feel like you forgot Mayfield is the second overall pick. Actually, I thought he was the number one overall pick. Not saying Hurts isn't shit, but come on now. We should have higher expectations for Mayfield. I don't have higher expectations for Mayfield after Mayfield's been to 4 different teams. As a matter of fact, Baker Mayfield, I'm trying to make a point to you. I'm not a fan, Devin, of Baker Mayfield. I'm a fan of him playing well. But to sit there and say that Jalen Hurts is some elite quarterback and he's not even outplaying a guy who's playing well, you're out of your minds. If you're looking at Jalen Hurts in a different light, whereas since the start of the 23 season, he hasn't outplayed him, and Mayfield beat him in a playoff game. And over the last 10, he's 10-3. Hurts is 3-7. What are we talking about here? You're making it sound, you're leaning on that Super Bowl appearance the same way that Colin Kaepernick, Rex Grossman, and Jimmy Garoppolo did on why they got paid. You know, average quarterbacks can get to Super Bowls. I mean, really. Get this. Benjamin goes, recent biasing. Okay. Why? Since he signed his $250 million deal, Benjamin, how well do you think he's played? He's 13-8 since he signed that contract. How well do you think? And Mayfield's 12-10. How well do you think he's played? Benjamin, this is not about me. Stop making it about me. It's a question. It's not about me. Benjamin, he's 13-8 since he signed his contract with 0-1 in the playoffs. How well has he played since he signed the deal, in your opinion? B plus with 26 turnovers. I'm awake. Are you? Just gave Jalen Hurts a B plus for 26 turnovers and 13-8. Wow. Wow. 26 turnovers and 13-8. You think it's a B plus? B-A. Good but not great? John, are you saying C? I'm not talking about every other quarterback. I'm talking about your quarterback heading into Sunday. That's what I'm talking about. Not talking about that. I'm not talking about Josh Allen. I'm talking about Jalen Hurts. Stay on the rails. Why? You don't want to, do you? Because you don't want to hear the truth. You're heading into a game this weekend. Sam is the only person in here that got the exercise. Come Monday, Sam, do me a favor, Sam. Post again what you posted to let these people know where I'm going with this. Because they really don't. They don't. This is a game where Hurts can separate himself. Okay? He could separate himself. Winning without all those guys. Last week, that half he had, with all those players being out, I didn't think New Orleans did a great job getting home. Hurts pulled it out. You put a full 60-minute game in like that with nothing. He's going down there with Barkley. We got to have something. And a tight end. The rest of those guys are nobodies. Johnny Wilson, Jahan Dotson, and Paris Campbell are nobodies. They're practice squad guys. Goddard and Barkley and Hurts have to win this game. I'm really looking forward to this. And then you got to hope the defense. Now here's the other thing. You've got to pray. I would love this, Ty. 30 carries in the rain. Absolutely. Hurts 15 carries. They'll win. And it won't be close. And it won't be close. You run that ball 45 times against the Buccaneers at Raymond James in the rain, that game will be 26-3. You start throwing the ball around the yard, you're in trouble. This is the advantage that I'm talking about that you have, that I'm hoping the Eagles use. You're not 2-1 without Barkley. Barkley's the engine so far. That's not horrible. Jalen making other players better around him? Great. Okay. Thanks, Prince. I appreciate it. Okay. I will play along. So, Joe, I'm not talking about Joe Burrow. I'm not talking about Joe Burrow. Is he still elite? The elite title is just a title. Sunday will show us and tell us more about Jalen. Let's see what happens. Jalen Carter has to take over. It's a great take. It's a great take. Okay? It's a great take. But Prince, here, let me show Prince something that's how people look at Hurts right now. Here. Not that this is anything, but here. So right now, crunch time quarterbacks, according to Colin Cowherd and Fox Sports, number 1 is Mahomes. Number 2 is Josh Allen. Number 3 is Joe Burrow. Number 4 is Matthew Stafford. 36 come from behind victories is the most of any quarterback in the league. Rodgers at 5. CJ Stroud at 6. I don't know how you put CJ Stroud in there. What kind of metric do you have there? I mean, I think the kid's a great player, but he's a clutch time winner. I don't see it. I haven't seen enough of it. He's got Jordan Love at 7. I haven't seen both those guys. I think both those guys are outstanding players. But to sit there and say that those guys are clutch? Number 8, Purdy. Do you want to hear something about Brock Purdy that he pointed out? Fox Sports guy said that Brock Purdy has the highest quarterback rating of any quarterback in the fourth quarter in pro football history. Let that resonate. Brock Purdy has the highest quarterback rating of any quarterback in NFL history in the fourth quarter. Okay? In the fourth quarter, highest quarterback rating of all time. He's got Dak 9. I wouldn't put Prescott in the top 10 clutch players. This guy's allergic to January. He's got Lamar Jackson 10. This isn't my list. This is Fox Sports' list of the best clutch players and top 10 quarterbacks that you would have with a minute 35 left in a ball game and you had to win a game. They would take Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Stafford, Rodgers, Stroud, Love, Purdy, Dak, and Lamar. I'm not sure those are my guys. I might put Stafford second. Stafford's got 36 come from behind victories. I mean, had one just last week. I'd put him 2. Burrow's been to 2 AFC championship games. I kind of get it. And Josh Allen has nobody. Now, get this. Here's something else to think about with Josh Allen. You know how much I love the kid, right? Hey, Josh Allen's going to beat Miami. Josh Allen's going to beat some of these other shitty teams like Jacksonville. But are you going to beat the Ravens without Stephon Diggs? Can you beat the Ravens without Stephon Diggs? You see, he's got something this weekend to prove. Hey, you're going to beat those shitty teams. Okay? You're going to beat those shitty teams because you're a great player. But are you going to beat those great teams when you need a guy like Diggs? There's three plays a game where Hurts hurts our team. And the other plays, he does great things. If he can clean them up, he could be unstoppable. If he just tones down some, not all, even all the birds win the Super Bowl. If he just tones down some, not even all the birds will win the Super Bowl. David. But they're asking him to do different things in his career than he did in 22. Remember, my biggest concern has been this. He can't play like he did in 22. The Shane Steichen offense is gone. Pray for my bird still. No Devontae, AJ, and Lane. Jalen Hurts' hero ball is going to be at an all-time high. What's the single game record for INTs? That I don't know. Brian. Okay? Crowley. I know. Hey, Crowley, let me ask you this. Would you agree, Crowley, that Hurts has won 2 games this year so far with his wheels? Samuel, if Jalen can't beat an above-average quarterback, what does that tell you about Jalen? If Jalen can win, and especially win convincingly, he'll start climbing back in the elite conversation. Amen. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Sills, everyone is back at practice today except AJ and Smitty. Well, that's good for Becton. And Becton, I heard, is going to play with a cast. I might start Trevor or Tyler Steen. Not that I think the Bucs have a formidable front. Okay? Hey, well, wait, I'll read it again here. Let's see if you did it right. There's 3 plays a game where Hurts our team, and the other plays, he does great things. If he can clean them up, he could be unstoppable. If he just tones down some, not even all the birds win the Super Bowl. Some, not even all the birds win the Super Bowl. Let's try to put them little words in there. You can rip my reading, but why don't you write a sentence? Okay, David? And I appreciate the super chat. But you're going to take a shit on me. Write something people can read. By the way, you want to write something else? Because I do appreciate your super chat, by the way. You don't have to put up any cash on it. Just put it up there. I'll read it. All we need is the D to play like last week, and we'll be fine. Hey, that's another thing. They got to show up. Okay, they got to show up. Absolutely. Did we get Pumper Super Chat? Yes, I did. We got him. Yep. Brian's cool. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate it. All good, man. Hey, I got you, brother. We're good, David. You know that, man. You don't have to worry about anything, man. I was playing, busting your chops. I was saying I meant turnovers, big dog. I got you, David. Absolutely, dude. Dude, here's your guy. Hey, man, I really wish to God that you guys would sometimes get where I'm going with this stuff. Jalen Hurts has a big game, man. This is a game where you can shut me up Monday. If that guy wins 3-2 on Monday, I'm like, that's great. That's great. If they win 3-2, I don't care. AJ and Devontae being out. Hey, you know what? Honest to God, guys. Josh Allen's got a test this week. You got to beat the Ravens without Stephon Diggs. Hey, I know you can beat the shitty Dolphins, and I know you can beat the shitty Jags, but can you beat Baltimore without an elite wideout and having other players on that team? You're 3-0 against some pretty suspect opponents. Okay. And I give you that. You played great in them. Well, let's find out what's up this week. Right? I think that's fair. All right? I think that's fair. David's cool. I figure Sills, but I'm in this to win the Super Bowl. As much as I love Hurts, the Eagles will never win a Super Bowl with 2 turnovers a game. Absolutely true. Okay? Absolutely true. Get this. So Prince will try to tell you this, and you can hear Greg Cosell talk about the complete opposite of what he's saying. Complete opposite. Complete opposite. Complete opposite. Misses throws, late on throws. He's escaping the pocket too quick. Still. And that's why his carries are up. Hey, you want to hear something crazy? Prince can't tell you why his carries are on pace to have more carries this year than any year in his career. Why is that? Because he's leaving the pocket too soon. He's on pace for more carries than any time in his Eagle career. Why is that? Because why? He's being pressured? I thought you had the best O-line in football. Or is he leaving the pocket? Get this. Some guy just said that's not true. Let's take a look at that. Hey, Crowley, do me a favor, Crowley. Tell me how many carries Jalen Hurts has so far this year. Okay? Didn't say that this week. I wasn't talking this week. You took that this week. Crowley, do me a favor. Actually, he didn't talk about him this week. I never said this week. I said Greg Cosell said that this guy, he's got 32 carries in 3 games. Is that correct? Okay. 32 carries so far this year. He's on pace for 180 carries, which would be more than any time in his career. 175 carries he's on pace for, which would be more than any carries in his career. So it is true. And the year that he had those carries that high was 22. He's playing 22 football a little bit here. So it is true. That will be a problem. So you know what? Hey, you got a running back right now on pace for 400 carries. And you got another guy on pace for almost 200 carries, 180 carries. That's a lot of carries for 2 dudes. Okay. If Jalen, I thought Sill said if Hurts ran more, Hurts would be better. I did. But he won't last longer. Senor, I'm not saying he shouldn't. I'm saying that the reason why he's running more is because he's relying on what made him great in 22. He's going and fighting the system and going back to what makes him great. 22 running. It's not his passing. The passing has been atrocious. 26 turnovers. I mean, his turnovers are terrible. He's the worst in the league. But when he takes off, he's elite. 22 Hurts threw the ball away instead of today's hero ball. That's a great take, Jacob. You're right. He did do that. You're right. I've been asking all year why he's leaving the clean pockets consistently. If he stays, he will have better passing opportunities or can run up the gut. James, I think it's because, again, you're asking him to do progression reading, and I still think he's learning it. I totally still think he's learning it. Hurts will be elite by week 11. He will master the offense. That's a great take. So obviously you don't care what the record is then too, depending on what it is. I'll take that. Jalen has this game circled because of last year. This is a revenge game. And now he changes predictions. He will lean on now he's in charge of protections. He will lean on Barkley and Goddard till the 4th. Yeah, Jaron. Yes. You know what? I don't know if Jalen looks at shit like that where it's a revenge game. But now he has responsibilities for protections. And I think he does lean on Goddard and Barkley in this game. I totally agree with you. Dude, if look, those two guys, and even Shipley to a point, and I would say even Shipley, okay? Even Shipley, I would say that. No doubt. Xander's going to join us at the bottom of the hour here. The Giants will shock the Cowboys tonight. Cowboy season's over tonight if that goes on. If the Cowboys lose this game tonight, it's over. In all honesty, I think this defense and offense has one more year to be a Super Bowl. I agree. Swinsky, I think they're a Super Bowl contender big time next year. So hopefully Moore will be back next year. Completely agree. Swinsky, I think they're going to be great in 25. Get an edge rusher in the draft, maybe free agency. The guy used to be a great game manager, but after the fumble, his mentals are cooked. With every single turnover he commits, his aura fades. You know where he gets it back? Brian, you know where he gets it back? The aura of Hurts. You know where he gets that back, the confidence? The wins. The only thing keeping Jalen Hurts afloat right now and what they're asking him to do is he wins. And it's important because he keeps people with belief. He can pull it out. But again, why I'm so hard on it is the turnovers are going to catch you. They always do. The turnovers, they get you. By the way, I want to reset something. I didn't come out starting this show off telling you that Baker Mayfield is a better football player than Jalen Hurts. I'm saying that Jalen has come down to Baker Mayfield's level and playing at Baker Mayfield's level since 2023. That's what I'm saying. And the numbers dictate that. Wins and the numbers, both are dictating that. Those are facts that you can't ignore. He's got one more win. Baker beat him in the playoffs. He's got better passing statistics. And in recent head-to-head in the playoffs, he beat him. I mean, get this. Still started the show off by, I asked you, get this. This is what RTF calls shitting on Hurts. Has Jalen Hurts, since he signed his $250 million deal, has he improved at quarterback? He calls that shitting on him, asking a question like that. Hey, RTF, you don't have to answer it. Because if you think that's shitting on him, asking you a question like that, when I'm making a point on a quarterback you're facing this week has played and outplayed him, and you think that's shitting on him heading into this game, knowing full well that's the kind of game that you have to come out on a Monday and say Hurts beat him, then that's a you thing, guy. You don't like the question? I'm sorry. Yeah, you can whatever you want. I don't care. And as far as I'm concerned, that's not hating. I asked you a flat-out question. Since 2023, when he signed his contract for $255 million, do you think that guy has played great ball? The answer is no. And the guy you're playing against this weekend has outplayed him. That's not an opinion. It's not an opinion. I fucking love the Eagles, but to sit here and say Jalen is playing good ball is ridiculous. I believe Hurts can be great too. Yeah, but the turnovers are a fucking problem. And get this too, David. Heading into this game with no skilled people except for Barkley and Goddard, he's going to be asked to do dual. If he doesn't run, the Bucs will beat them. If he runs to set people up like he did against New Orleans in the fourth quarter, he'll win. I think handily. Here's me in this game. I think you got to run that ball as much as you can. And again, the way the weather, Mark says he's improved. Dude's a leader, completion percentage, major part of being a quarterback. Plus the blitz pickup has improved. He's improved, okay? He's only improved in the last comment you made. I don't give a shit about that leadership stuff. Welcome to the NFL. That's why you're paid $55 million. You're supposed to be the leader of the team. You want to get paid for doing something you're not, or it's not supposed to be? What quarterback gets that money and is not considered a leader? Don't pat people on the back for the obvious. Yes, a lead at winning last year and this year. Actually, I made this, John. Actually, since he signed his contract with the playoff loss, he is, let's see here, 11-7 and 2-1. He's 13-8. That's winning, right? 13-8. John, okay. You're happy with 13-8? 26 turnovers? Okay. Okay. Christopher. Guys, we beat the crap out of Hurts for turnovers this year. A ton of quarterbacks have a bunch of turnovers. He's learning a new offense and reading the blitz better. Okay? You're looking at it through the right lens here, Christopher. You're looking at it through the right lens. But my question to you, Christopher, is if you were so happy with what you saw in 22, why this whole revamping? And this revamping has cost the turnovers, has it not? Let me ask you this. Don't forget Xander at the bottom of the hour. Do you think them trying to change Jalen Hurts into a pocket passer has resulted in turnovers? Yes or no? Or do you think it's just, I'll ask Prince this too. Let's ask Prince this. Right, Prince. Prince. Do you think them asking Jalen Hurts to be a pocket passer has resulted in these turnovers? And the new offense, new coordinators. And do you think it's the reason he's got 26 turnovers? 19 turnovers, interceptions. Prince says, yes, I do, Sills. Okay. Well, why don't you stick with it, what you were doing? He's doing it now anyway. I'm telling you, when Jalen Hurts plays like he did in the fourth quarter against New Orleans, that's the guy I like. The guy that starts the game out throwing interceptions and stuff and trying to spread the ball around, like, that's not the guy I like. Okay? Jalen Hurts' leadership is overrated. I don't know about that. A leader would not have allowed 2023 to spiral. I think it's more than him, and I don't know. I might disagree here, Brian, with you. Jalen Hurts is not a top 5 player on the team. AJ, Lane, Mulata. He's probably 5th. The league caught up to the RPO offense. It's like they did with the Wildcat that the Eagles were running. His RPO gets stuffed. It only makes good ground scrambling on pass plays. He's adapting. Christopher, I agree. Thanks. Guys are killing it on the super chats too. Thank you. Please hit the like button. Actually, John wants to segment it. He's played 18 games last year. He was 11-7, lost the playoff game. This year he's 2-1. In case you can't add, John, it's 13-8 in his last games. Baker Mayfield, on the other hand, I think I wrote it out. I think he's played one last game. He's 12-10. He's got one last win. You do whatever you want, dog. He's 13-8. That's good to you? That's good. What, you don't count the playoffs? Okay. Then I guess you don't count the playoffs for Dak. That's 36 and what? He's won 36 ball games in 3 years. Oh, I see. You only apply it when you need it. Oh, I got it. Sills, you're a big back clown. We know we got issues, but why are you hating I'm not hating. Why am I hating every day? Okay. Go talk about Buffalo and finish sucking Josh Allen off. Don't forget to, whatever. Here. Hey, Chris, I'll say this to you. So let me ask you this one. Clint Hurt and Vic Fangio were breaking those guys' balls all week long about not showing up in the first 2 weeks of the season. And those guys were kicking their ass. You think they were fucking loving what they were being hurt, what they were being told? Or is it that you just don't like to hear the truth? Do me a favor, guy. Go sit in the corner. Okay? What's the matter, dude? Can't handle it, and you can't handle the truth. Don't come here. Some of the turnovers are on the wrong bad routes, which also can be contributed to learning a new system. It's not just a quarterback learning a new system. Do you agree? I do. Absolutely. Get this. This guy here says, I'm a hater. No, I was coached hard. No, I was coached hard. Okay? I was coached hard. I was coached by Hall of Fame coaches. That's why. I don't want AJ or Smitty playing this week. The Jalen I saw after those turnovers, he's a quarterback I want for this system. Jalen is improving. Dude, that fourth, if you're talking about the fourth Prince, you're right. That was good. That was good in the fourth, man. Yo, Sills, guys like me and you don't call fat chicks BBWs. We call little PPL Akbar. Hey. Okay? You can still be critical of Jalen and his play, all the while being glad that he's your quarterback. Dude, I don't care who your quarterback is. I care quarterback. I don't fall in love with players like that. I don't care because you have to fire him eventually. Every player that signs a contract will eventually be fired. You fall in like with your guys, not in love with your guys. You think Howie's in love with his guys? Howie's in like with his guys. Because one day you may have to call him in the front office and tell him you're out. That's the way it is. That's how that league is. You fall in like. Jeffrey Lurie falls in love with guys like Brandon Graham, Jason Kelce. By the way, those guys are different. You spend 10 plus years in a place. You built up the equity. Fans are going to love it. You're going to love those guys. What's not to love? AJ, Lane, Jordan, Devontae, JC, and BG. Jalen may be top 8, but I might put Quinyon there. Not yet. These fans need to come up for air for once in a while. I'll say this to you, man. Quinyon got to have a little bit more sample size there with that. Seals just tells it like it is. I know where he's coming from. He's just going to be wrong sometimes. Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you what, I was wrong on Barkley. Now, the question mark will be durability with him. But I'm wrong on Barkley. He is as advertised. There is no doubt that guy is the second pick in the draft. I said never that guy live up in New York being the second pick. That's the second pick in the draft. That guy's an electric ball player. I'm wrong. You put him on that team. He's a good-looking football player. Okay? He is. All right. I hope you guys get where I'm coming from here. Okay? I'm still waiting for your response, your answer. What do you think about San Francisco? Are they a good team? Yeah, they're a good team. They're injured. They're getting it early. What is your opinion? I'm waiting for your answer, please. San Francisco's a great team. I think they got a great quarterback. By the way, please do me a favor and hit the likes. I do. Hey, you know what's so hard after 3 weeks? I don't know who's good or bad. I really don't know in the NFL. Does anybody think Seattle's great? Does anybody think Pittsburgh's great? Right? Are you buying Minnesota? Might be because of Brian Flores. Guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like list. Guys doing a great job with John McMullen. Not only just on Birds 365, but also with our pre- and post-game show each and every single Sunday, Thursday, Monday night, depending on when they play these games. JAKIB's legendary pre- and post-game show. Does a great job at moderating it, putting us all in our place here when we need to. Guy does a super job with Birds 365. Give it up for our friend and co-host of Birds 365, Big Z.
What's up, Big Sills? What's going on, everybody in the chat? Happy Thursday, baby. Week is flying by, Big Sills. Week 4 coming up.
Have we got any updates on the injuries? Have we heard anything? Today. Are they being covert, or does that come out at 4:00?
They're going to be covert about it. I mean, let me just check. Britton Covey was out there watching punt returns. Fred Johnson got the first reps at right tackle today. Lane Johnson was out there, but no helmet or pads on. And that's really it. Not much else in terms of Devontae and AJ. So my expectation would be if you didn't see anything, then they're probably not going to be out there. Not expecting either of those guys to play it. I mean, at this point, we're pretty late in the week. AJ is more concerning to me because Devontae, not concerning, but it's interesting. Devontae is in the concussion, which is really handled by more of the NFL than
that's right. That's right.
So it's kind of a different protocol. It's not really on the Eagles. The hamstring is more up to the Eagles, and he's continuing to not practice. So hopefully he gets back good. If not this week, then after the bye.
You got to understand something too. There's going to be a conditioning issue because he's not been able to get on the bike. He's not been able to do any kind of conditioning when he comes back here. Now, again, there's levels of this hamstring. If it goes up into the stomach, you're looking at 3 to 6. Now, obviously, from when it happened versus that, this is not just a normal hamstring. Missing 2 games, Xander. Now we're going into potentially 3 games here. Then you're going into the bye. Is he going to be ready for Cleveland coming out of the bye? You're looking at a pretty significant injury here if you're going to miss a month of football. That's a lot of football to miss, especially for an elite guy like that.
I agree. And when we talk about the storylines of this season, and even coming off of last year when a team starts 10-1 and then collapses, I'm almost wondering if we'd all rather have those dudes take the seat. Take a couple weeks here. You got the lane. You got the bye week.
This is about postseason here.
At the worst, you're going into the bye week 2-2. At the very worst, if you lose this game without AJ, Devontae, Lane, maybe it is better if we all just take a deep breath. Let Jalen go out there and learn how to play with some other. Now, Lane's not out there, so you don't want Jalen to get hurt, obviously, behind a lesser offensive line. But it might be better, for these dudes to get healthy. Obviously, we want them to, be playing their best ball at the end of the year. I'm concerned about Saquon. I mean, without those receivers out there, how much is Saquon going to be in the, in the bullseye? And he's now averaging, or he's on pace for 400 plus carries. That's not sustainable. We want we want Saquon playing his best ball late in the year, not right now. It's great that he's playing good right now, but John said it perfectly this morning. He's like, everybody's jacked up that he's the leader and the rusher right now in the NFL. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, no one.
Who gives it? We want a rushing title.
Eagles don't care.
Or do we want a guy that contributes to getting to the Super Bowl? So, that's my concern because he's obviously going to be out there, but we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening.
I don't care about the numbers. I care about the talent. I want that in the postseason, that talent. Okay. That's when it's going to be. Let me tell you exactly what Todd Bowles is going to do. Todd Bowles is going to go like this. Stop Barkley, you win.
Yeah. I mean, look, is he wrong?
No.
Well, Dallas Goedert. You got to stop.
Okay.
Goedert.
Dallas Goedert. You know what I put on him? I put that safety they have on him. That was all pro last year.
People are saying I got the orangey Trump glow right now. Is that the lighting? I got that orangey Trump glow going on right now. Yeah, it's not my bad. I'm not at the same spot with lighting. So sorry about that, everybody.
Let me ask you some of the topic questions here. So going back to a year ago, 2023 to right now, since Jalen Hurts has gotten a $250 million deal, you think he's improved as a quarterback?
Since the deal?
Yeah.
That would be tough to say.
He's 13-8 right now.
He signed that deal after the Super Bowl. So that would be saying, has he gotten better from the start of last season to now?
Yeah.
No, I can't say he's shown drastic. I think he's gotten – look, the thing that I like about where he is right now is he still is very young. And I know he's gotten paid, and I understand everybody has high expectations for him as a player, which I respect. But if you're learning how to be a quarterback in this league, a lot of times it does take a while. Ask Brady. When I was 34 years old, I was a lot better quarterback than when I was 26 years old. So Jalen's winning games.
But Brady was in the same system.
Jalen is winning games, though, as he learns.
It's the only thing that right now is saving the conversation for him not being the starter.
What do you mean not being a starter?
Well, dude, his numbers are his numbers aren't even better than Mayfield since the year ago.
Yeah, I mean, they're two completely different styles of quarterback, but
totally. But the results are almost the same.
Look, his numbers are fine. I don't have a problem with his numbers. I have a problem with his turnovers. But at the end of the day, I think he can get that under control. I mean, he needs to be better in the pocket, which I think he's going to show signs of this year. Remember, we came into the offseason and we were like, oh, expect this to take a lot of time. And then when it takes time, we're hard on the dude in the middle of week 2 and 3. You got to give him a little bit of time to get settled in this offense. Turnovers are going to be a product of that a little bit. Does he need to improve on decision-making? Yeah, a little bit. But overall, I still feel like we're in a good spot with Jalen. Just because I said he didn't improve since he signed the contract doesn't mean I don't think he's going to improve more in the now that he's, like you just said, Brady was in the same system. Jalen has now switched twice since that contract. So what's it going to look like in week 10 of Kellen Moore? And then I'm hoping we get Kellen Moore back for another year just for the sake of Jalen Hurts. I mean, shit, man, it's got to be hard to keep rotating it out. So, I still feel good with where he is. He's got to get better at the things that make elite quarterbacks in this league elite. Reading defenses, understanding what you're seeing on the football field, getting through your progressions, some of those things. He is young, though, Sills.
I want him to
modern
get back
world, though, dude. Everybody expects these quarterbacks to have it all figured out. So, me included. I'm not talking about a 32-year-old starter here. If you can't read a defense by the time you're 32, you ain't never going to read a defense. Jalen is still growing, in his role. Now, he's had a lot of games played. I will say that. So that's going against them. But I think we're in a good spot with him. He's got to be better, but, we have a great roster. So we don't need him to be Superman like they need Mahomes to be or even Josh Allen to be.
You say he's going to come along. Well, he wasn't drafted to be what they draft. They didn't draft him the way they're coaching him. They did not draft him like that.
They drafted him to be
They didn't pay him what they're getting right now.
They drafted him to be a backup.
Let me ask you a fair question. Do you think the amount of turnovers has resulted in the style of play they're asking him to play versus the 22 Shane Steichen offense?
Potentially. I mean, that could potentially be a part of it. You also go back to his career.
What else would it be, the 26 turnovers?
Well,
the year that he was the MVP had 8 turnovers. All of a sudden, you want him to do what you said, reading defenses, progression, this and that. Don't you think that's a precursor to all the things that are happening?
I do. But don't you also think if that's true, more than one thing can be true at once? He's learning how to do that. Okay. There's going to be growing pains in that, right?
Okay.
I mean, so that's a part of it. Now he has to if he's going to have 26 turnovers a year every single year for the next 5 years, we're not going to win anything big. So forget about it. But
yeah, because he hasn't played well. He hasn't played like he did in 22. There's no way.
No, 22. But
in 22, every game
quarterback before this system, he's never been a quarterback that turned the ball over a lot.
Correct, because he wasn't asked to throw the ball as much.
That's fair. It's fair. I mean, look, it's still a wait and see then if you're going by that.
I still don't get that mentality. You paid a guy for a completely different style of play, and now you want to make him into this, and the turnovers have increased, and he hasn't played above Baker Mayfield's. Not that I like Mayfield, but you're at Mayfield's level. You've dropped from 22 to Mayfield's level.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield's been on 4 teams in 5 years. I mean,
I'm not okay, but he has outplayed him, and Jalen has one more win, and he has a playoff win against Hurts, and since the start of the 23 season. In the last 10 games, he's 10-3. Hurts is 3-7. I mean, the numbers are there. The sample size is there. The metric is there. This is not an opinion. And what they're doing is, hey, he's got to get better at this. He's got to get better at that. He's got to stop the turnovers. I mean, well, what's leading to all this? You know what's leading to all this? They're coaching him a different style of what they paid him at. Now he's going to go into a game, and this was the exercise supposed to be, but most people can't get it. You got a game on Sunday where if Jalen Hurts wins that game 3-2, okay, I don't care what it looks like. He has nothing going into that game except Saquon Barkley, and you know Todd Bowles is going to do this. They're going to do everything they can to try to make sure they jam Goddard at the line of scrimmage and stop Barkley and say, Hurts, let's see you beat us.
Yeah, for a good defensive mind coach too, and Todd Bowles. You know, this week is going to be a tough game when you consider, you know, who's going to be out and then who they're going up against. But like I said, you know, I don't think we should sound the alarms even if they lose the game.
No.
You know, everybody's still getting acclimated to both coordinators on both sides of the football. You know, everybody's got to get healthy. That's obviously your first priority, because if they don't get healthy, I mean, this team's not going to – you're not winning a Super Bowl without AJ and Devontae. I don't care how good Jalen Hurts plays. I mean, shit, those two dudes are too valuable. So got to get healthy. And look, we'll see how it continues to develop. I'm not saying the points that you're making aren't correct. They are. He's turned the ball over a boatload since he's gone into this new style of offense. I'm just not ready to say he's never going to develop past this point. And that's where I'm at with it. But I do hear what you're saying is not falling on deaf ears. I do. You're right. I mean, look, we changed up the system a little bit, and the guy's a turnover machine. That's a reality, everybody. You know, does that suck? Yeah, but he's won a lot of football games since 22 as well. Also, the winningest quarterback in the league since that point. So that's kind of my point. Is he in a learning curve right now and winning football games? If he can correct some of these mistakes, we're going to win a lot of ball games, you know, even without him playing like Patrick Mahomes. Forget that. We don't need that. Just don't turn the ball over and be comfortable in the offense.
But Xander, the one thing, last point on this, but the thing that the reason that I started it at 23 is because they started coaching him differently than 22. When Steichen left the building, this is not the same. So when people go like this, he's the winningest. He's 13-8 since the start of the 23 season. I
mean, you're taking a sample. You're leaving out some of the.
No, it's the stuff they're teaching him and coaching him in. They brought Kellen Moore in to kind of enhance the offense that Brian Johnson couldn't connect with Hurts with. They're doing pretty much the same thing. Nick's still involved in this. They want him to be a pocket passer.
13-8 in the last 2 years, incling the 2-1 this year, the playoff game last year.
Yeah, he's 13. Well, think about it. What
were we, 11-6 last year? 11-6,
11-7. You were 11-7, counting the playoff loss.
Including the playoffs, yeah.
Okay, you're 2-1. You're 13-8.
I'm 13-8. Yeah, right. I mean, that's middle of the pack, but.
And Mayfield's 12-10.
Yeah, so
they're
right
with a
there.
win.
I mean, look, Jalen is definitely learning more things that he will.
System. That's why I started at 23 and not went.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I mean, now it's another new system. To be fair, it is. It's another new system. I mean, and the way they framed it up last year was still technically Nick's system, is how they talked about it. So, I'm not, like I said, I hear what you're saying. It is definitely something that's got to be got to be watched. But I'm not ready to count him out. I'm not ready to say Jalen is not going to get better. But you're right. I mean, look, that's a lot of turnovers. There's no doubt. 13-8 with a lot of turnovers. So you got to get better at that for sure.
Okay, I want to do something here now because Jason Kelce and I had a small back and forth here a little bit on X here this morning here. You know, he was on WIP, Jason Kelce. And again, and listen, I'm not going to sit here and shit on him when it comes to him being a company guy. But I want to show you what a company guy sounds like going on a flagship station of the Philadelphia Eagles. Here's what Jason Kelce said. I mean, can this be any more of a lie? He makes critical decisions when it means the most. And by and large, he gets those right most of the time. I say this wholeheartedly. He's been the best team meeting coach I've ever been around. I mean, he holds guys accountable. I couldn't disagree more. And I wrote this to him. Sorry, Jason Kelce, but the Eagles don't need a coach that gives Newt Rockne speeches. They just don't. They need a coach who can make great game decisions and in-game decisions to stay out of the way of the coaches. And as for the record, his 2023 moves in 23 were a train wreck, and it's carried over to 24. And then he fires back and he says, well, you know, I don't agree with all their moves here, but, you know, and
in other words, you're right. I was on the flagship station buttering the team up, but you actually are correct, Sileo. That's basically what he said to you.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, so when you go on and be a mouthpiece for the flagship station and then you turn around and speak the truth, that kid's got a long way to go when it comes to being a media guy. You got to hold of your convictions there because as far as I heard that on that station, he was just trying to juice the fans up that Nick and defending Nick. Why are you defending Nick? He's not a player anymore.
Yeah, look, he's defending the organization. And can you doubt? I mean, look, can you knock him? He spent how many years here? They
14.
paid him however, you know, the top salary that he wanted every single year. They gave him autonomy on when he wanted to hang it up. They let him pick his replacement. I mean, they've done everything for the guy's career, and they've been a big part in helping him build his media career. So, you know, look, I'm not going to look, Jason Kelce, is he a mouthpiece for the team? 100%. But don't you understand why?
Yeah, I do.
You know, I mean, shit, if somebody made me worth 100, got my podcast to sell for $100 million, I'd be loyal to them too, Big Sil. So I get it, but you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I mean, look, he basically admitted to you in his reply to you, you know, which wasn't as public, obviously, as the interview on WIP, but he basically said, hey, yeah, you're right. I don't agree with all the decisions, you know, so
you're even getting Chris Long.
What's
you're
that?
getting even Chris Long now doing this. Man, I
love Chris Long, dude. Chris Long played 1 year here. He acts like he's like he was a lifelong Eagle.
I know, like he's Bednarik or somebody.
Yeah,
man. I mean,
I love it.
But he was like, man, I really like Nick, but damn, I mean, he needs a mirror, you know. I mean, sometimes, and you're just sitting.
Is that what Chris said? I didn't see that yet.
Yeah, no, Chris even goes, I like the guy, but he needs a mirror, man. I mean, you need to get out of the way here a little bit sometimes. So, I mean, I'm just like, you know, you hear some of the things and the guy's defending. John loves Nick Sirianni. He does. He thinks he does the right. What's that?
That's not fair to say.
You think John's critical of him and his moves?
John's been critical in moments. I mean, I think John, the thing that people miss with John is John a lot of times is more trying to explain what the team is thinking more so than give an opinion. Like I got him to say, John, what's your opinion on the end of the half? He said, yeah, it was a bad decision. But like when he was debating that with you on the show, he wasn't debating the decision. He was debating the philosophy of the organization as an aggressive franchise and why it's worked for them in the last 4 years and why they're not going to go away from that despite critics, you know, on one instance of being aggressive. And that's what John gets caught up in that. I think too much. And I told him that. I'm like, dude, you got to just call that. Was it a bad decision or not? You know, right there. So we talked about it, but you know, he's trying to explain to you what the Eagles are thinking. I don't think he's a fan of Nick Sirianni. He took offense with me saying he defended Nick Sirianni.
Okay, good. All right.
He was upset that I put out on JAKIB that John defended Nick.
Oh, there we go. We got him crying and me crying about John
both
Filibuster McMullen.
I deal with all day. I got John crying in one ear and Sileo crying in the other ear.
Classic. How would you attack this Buck team? What would be a philosophy you would have?
Run the ball. Run the football. They got a bunch of injuries on that defensive line right now. Their secondary is really good. I mean, and you don't have any wide receivers, so it's got to be a run-heavy game. I would get Kenny Gainwell up and playing a little bit. Got to get Will Shipley involved a little bit. See what he's capable of. I would not, as much as I say run the ball, that doesn't mean give Saquon Barkley 35 touches. Like, this might come off wrong. I don't care about beating the Bucs that much if it's going to require 35 touches out of Saquon Barkley.
That's a great fucking take.
Give me a couple.
That is a great. Do you understand what you just said that fans in here won't get? Do you really think that the Kansas City Chiefs wanted Patrick Mahomes a year ago versus the Raiders doing RPOs in a game in the middle of the year, and it cost them, and he didn't run those RPOs, and they lost that football game at Arrowhead? Yeah. Okay? Do you think they gave a shit they lost that game, or do you think they just said what you said? Hey, man, I don't want that guy running around in October.
Won the war.
Hey, I don't want that guy running around in October against the Raiders at Arrowhead. Yeah. I want that guy running around in February against the 49ers.
Exactly. Chonky Cats got it. You may lose the battle, but you want to win the war.
That is a great take, Xander.
Yeah, that's it. That's what you want to do. So, look, I'm kind of setting up my expectations for this game right now. Like, you're already talking about, we're not talking about a bunch of scrubs that are injured. You're talking about maybe three of your top 6-7 players
in
on
the
football
league.
Team. Yeah. Well, not in the league. I mean, they're not the top 3.
Lane Johnson's top 5.
Lane Johnson's a top tackle in the league. AJ Brown's a top wideout in the league. Devontae Smith is probably a top 20 wide receiver. No, he's not top 10.
Nah, probably not. Probably top 15.
Yeah, I think even close. Probably. What is Devontae in the league?
Probably 15, 13, 14, 15, somewhere in there.
What are you guys in the chat? Where do you have Devontae in the league?
Well, he better, because he's 25 million, dude. He better not be a 12.
Yeah, but he's a wide receiver too. Watch, you.
How about this? You think he's better than Ayuk?
It's going to be a bargain. Do
you think he's better than Ayuk?
I think they're about the same. I think they're comparable. I think they're right.
I think Ayuk's a top 15 receiver. 1,400 yards a year ago, dude. I think he's a top 15 guy. I like Ayuk.
You got Jefferson, Hill, Chase, CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown is 5. This isn't my order. This is just guys who I think are better than Devontae. Devontae Adams is 6. Yeah, and then you're starting at Deebo Samuel, Stephon Diggs, Cooper Kupp, I don't know. DK Metcalf, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Brandon Ayuk, Puka Nacua, Garrett Wilson. You see, these are dudes. So PFF has him ranked at 16. Yeah, I think 12 is a good,
Yeah, he's in there.
12 is solid. Definitely top 20. Definitely. I was wrong on that. He's definitely higher than that. I mean, I don't know though. Remember, there's dudes out there like Mike Evans. There's dudes out there, Keenan Allen. DK Metcalf is way down here. Malik Nabers is a rookie, but he looks damn good.
Stephon Diggs,
I mentioned Stephon Collins. Diggs. Marvin Harrison Jr. is a rookie, but he's going to be good very quickly.
Dude, that kid up in New York looks great.
Yeah, Malik Nabers. I just mentioned him. That kid's going to be really good, man. And he's making Daniel Jones look better than Daniel Jones is right now. So yeah, I would say maybe top 12, top 15 for Devontae. So yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good for him. So
the defense heading into this game versus the Buccaneers. Buccaneers only averaging about 91 yards a game rushing the football. It looks like it could be a weather game here, Xander, because of the hurricane going on down there right now. So to your point about running the ball, you're probably going to see a lot of that. Big game for those tackles, see if they could put 2 games back-to-back, Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. As much as they needed them for that Saints game, this is going to be a priority game for them because those linebackers, we now see it, right, Xander? If those 2 guys don't play well, the backers don't play well.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, they go hand in hand. And that's really for most football teams, unless you have a guy like Fred Warner who's going to play well no matter who's in front of him. But, no doubt. I mean, look, if that defensive line plays hard, the linebackers are going to step up. Jalen Carter is going to needs to have another good week. But, I don't know, man. You said all the stats on Baker. The dude just doesn't scare me right now. He just doesn't scare me.
I don't think he's a superstar player either. Though.
No, he's not. He's definitely not a superstar player.
He's not.
But, he just doesn't
signed a 3-year, $100 million deal.
create a little bit of pressure on the interiors. Hopefully Bryce Huff can do something in this game. I mean, oh, goodness gracious. Hopefully he can do something off the edges. And then, Josh Sweat, came out today that he's like third in the league in pass rush win rate, or what was it, pressure percentage or something?
Pressure percentage.
And I'm like, okay, great. Let's turn it into some real pressures that mean something for the game. So, hopefully he can get home this week. And I don't think we've had a sack from an edge rusher yet, have we?
No.
3 games in. I think we're now through 7 games without a sack from an edge rusher.
What a whiff by Howie. What a whiff. On both the draft. Hey, here's my favorite Xander line. Hey, there was a spotting I saw land, and it was the island of Nolan Smith. I couldn't believe it. There he was. He was kind of decent. It was kind of a little piece of land.
I heard you ripping me for that in hour number 1. Listen, I said though, you're talking about BJ, man. It took him 4 years to get going in this league. I'm not going to count Nolan Smith out just yet. Do I want more from him? 100%. But he's starting to show some of the little things. Now, maybe that's got to build up to the big things. My problem with Nolan is I don't see it in it from the eye test. Like he looks like he could be a good football player. He looks like a great athlete. Does he look like a star edge rusher? No, not to me. I mean, did you watch the clip? You watch clips of this is a crazy comparison, but you watch clips of like Myles Garrett. That dude looks like he could eat me for lunch. That dude is a fucking beast.
How about the way
even on the somebody put up a nice video, or I don't know if it was some sort of produced video of Daniel Jones's touchdown throw to Malik Neighbors. He got wrecked by Myles Garrett on that play. Wrecked. I mean, that dude is a beast. So that's the part with Nolan that I struggle with. He looks more like a linebacker to me, but they don't seem to want to play him in there. So we'll see. What ends up happening with him. But I will say, go watch the tape. He set the edge pretty well. He did a couple things here and there pretty good that I'll give him some credit for, because I was hard on him on Monday.
How about Marcus Hayes coming on?
Great. I can't wait.
Me too. Because you know what?
Going to be good. You got to let him speak, because Marcus takes a bit for his delivery, but he's really good.
I heard him on.
No, you're right, though, because I've always been a fan of the team that respects objectivity and truth.
Yeah.
Not every fan loves that, which is fine, which is why JAKIB isn't for every fan. We more side on the truth side, where we give it to you straight, especially between Big Sills and John. So Marcus Hayes is not afraid of that football team, which I respect. Like,
I'm a huge fan.
Twiz says Marcus Hayes is a crumb. Twiz, you might not like what he writes about your team, but you got to respect his ability to stand up there and fire arrows at a multi-billion-dollar organization,
who hates that,
and not bow down. He's going to say what he thinks. Whether you agree with it or not is fine. You're allowed to agree with what you want, but he stands up to that team and writes what he believes, and I think that's fair.
Before we get to the Super Chats, I got to ask you about tonight's game.
Oh, God.
Do the Giants put a dagger in the Cowboy season tonight?
No. I don't
so then wait a minute. Before you wait.
I was listening to Philly 500 tell me he's betting on the Giants. I'm like, I don't know.
Wait a minute. You know what's going to happen then come Friday? Cowboys are back. Oh, my God. Did you see Micah get the quarterback? Holy shit, did you watch? And then you're going to have a whole –
well, I will say this. Giants got a good win last week.
Because it's the shitty Giants.
Giants got a good win last week. So, hey, maybe they are good. But I don't know.
Hey, I'll tell you what, man. They got a good front four. And if you don't have a run game – okay, the Giants got a good front four, man.
They have an excellent front four.
Okay.
Excellent. Dexter Lawrence,
So let me get this right. Tyler Guyton is going to be blocking against Brian Burns. I want to watch that tonight.
Yeah.
I want to see. Kayvon Thibodeau's pretty good. And the big fella they got in the middle, that's what I want Jordan Davis to look like. I want Dexter Lawrence. I want him to play like Dexter Lawrence.
That's an uphill battle. Dexter Lawrence is an unreal.
No, he is the best.
Yeah, wait, you missed the super chat. Go to my man Dez, who I talked to on the post game. Dez, what's going on, brother? He says
that's the Joe.
9 wins, Sills.
That's the Joe. Do you still think 9 wins, Sills? Yeah, I got 9. I got 9 and 8. Yeah. Oh, by the way, hey Dez, you know what happens on Monday? The Washington Commanders will be in sole place of the NFC East when all you toolboxes were laughing at me. The Commanders with Jaden Daniels will be in first place. How you doing?
Don't say that. Who they playing this weekend?
Let me see here. Who they got? Washington. They got Arizona.
That's
can
a
beat 'em.
battle. That
Arizona can beat them.
That Arizona team's playing hard with Jonathan
they're
Gannon.
good.
I got to give Jonathan Gannon some credit. That team's playing hard. So
yeah, he's by the way, and it's in Phoenix.
Mr. International. Quinnen's the other New York. He's in the Jets, brother.
He's
on the Jets.
Is he a Bama kid?
Yeah, Quinnen Williams is a Bama guy.
Yeah. He's you know what? Him playing up with the Jets, being on that shitty team, he's a good player. If he was on any other team,
by the time my guys from Alabama that are in Washington have a solid team that's going in the right direction. You know, obviously I'm not rooting for the Commanders, but I do like that Jonathan Allen's on that team. Deron Payne's on that team. Remember, Jonathan Allen was like fed up with that team a couple years ago. So I'm happy he's getting at least the squad that he can play with. But look, NFC East is in an interesting spot. Are the Cowboys done? I can't tell. It's too early.
Tonight, they lose that ball game. Tonight, I got a statistic here. I want to tell you something about the Jets. You want to hear this about the Jets? I think the Jets have not won the division title, the AFC East, in 28 years. Hey, come on, Jody. They haven't won the AFC East in 28 years. That's what Jets fans are looking at right now with Aaron Rodgers.
I'm awake. Xander's a Washington fan. I'm awake. Come on, I'm awake. They got a couple dudes from Bama. I like to cheer for the dudes that I was there when Jonathan Allen was at the damn school, my man.
22 years. 22 years they haven't won.
Who, the Commanders?
AFC East. Yeah, no, the Jets haven't won the AFC East. Damn, Xander. All you got to do is just give another team a little bit of love, and you're a sellout.
I didn't even give them love. I just said I like Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne. They're great football. In fact, we could use them both in Philly. Those dudes are some beasts on the defensive line. So good stuff. I do want to give everybody an update.
I tried to make it happen, but Bob Lang wouldn't make it happen.
Bob Lang put the kibosh on that. Yes, that would have been great.
Hey, Nick was coming on.
And Sills told him he wasn't even going to dog him because remember they protect themselves. So Sills wasn't even going to dog him, but Bob Lang got in the way. I'm not sure if it was Bob Lang either. It might have been Howie. Might have been Howie stepping in and saying, "Don't put anybody on."
Calm your glorified kick, and you can't handle it. Hey man, the only job that guy will be doing
look at this dork with the fake Bob Lang name. What a dork!
Sorry,
come on, man.
Not sorry. Hey, come on, man. A little bit more original. Hey, by the way, Prince, I do love you.
I love Prince. Prince upgraded his membership. I want to give a couple people some shout outs. Jersey Dude became a member. Appreciate it, brother. Abe upgraded his membership today. And my man, Terry Hayes. I don't think Terry's here. I think Terry works a night shift, Big Sills. But Terry Hayes became a JAKIB Legend member, which is basically just, I'm going to support this channel as much as I can.
Make sure you differentiate that when he comes on there because I want to know.
Oh, I will, 100%. And I'm going to it pays to be first. He is the first JAKIB Legend member on the channel. And Jacob's got some good stuff for Terry. So I'm going to figure out where Terry is, and I'm going to do something real special for Terry Hayes. So Terry, a big shout out to you, my man. Hopefully you got, maybe if you're in the area, I'll send you down to a game or something. I want to do something special for Terry Hayes, who became the first JAKIB Legend member, which is really just support of the channel. So it's massive love. So appreciate the hell out of you guys. And then also I got some updates. I got the JAKIB merch is finally coming. Now I got the classic logo tees coming up. We got some Kelly Green in there. Everything is looking good. I'm still working on some of the designs that some people sent me. So, the custom designs are harder to get done because if I don't know how to design a good t-shirt, that's not my MO. So, I can put the logo on some stuff, but making some Sillsisms on some shirts, I'm working on. But I think you guys are going to like the JAKIB merch a lot. It looks really dope. So
and before you know it, everyone will be wearing it around the city and you'll be seeing it.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Hell yeah.
And you'll know what's up.
Yep. I can't wait.
Hey, Dad's the Joe. You're right. They are afraid of us, man, because we speak the truth. Look at even Jason Kelce barking back at Big Sills.
Wayne, what I missed, brother? Tell me. I don't like missing good opportunities, Wayne. You tell me.
Yeah, missed opportunities. Wayne, come on here. Well, let me guess. Prince said something stupid again. Hey, appreciate it here. All right. So, Xander, who wins tonight?
Cowboys. I think the Cowboys win tonight. I just
Easily?
don't. No, probably not easily. Their run defense is brutal, but
Terrible.
I don't know. Are we at a point where we're picking Giants in the game right now? I don't know.
Hey, I want one thing before you go here. I want to show you what the Fox Sports guys did when it came to clutch performers at quarterback. Number 10, Lamar Jackson, Baltimore. Number 9, Dak Prescott, Cowboys. Number 8, Brock Purdy. Number 7, Jordan Love, Packers. Number 6, CJ Stroud, Houston. Number 5, Aaron Rodgers, Jets. Number 4, Stafford. I actually think he's second. Number 3, Joe Burrow. Number 2, Josh Allen. Number 1, Mahomes.
Who's that?
This is Colin Cowherd in Fox.
Top 10?
Top 10. Clutch with 1:35 left in the game. Who'd you want
What
to
a
use?
stupid list. What a stupid list that is. That's a
Why
stupid.
is it a stupid list?
It's a stupid way to quantify a list. How many clutch moments has many of those quarterbacks been in? I mean,
Jordan Love and CJ Stroud are not on my list.
Well, no. Joe Burrow, man, you better keep the same energy about Joe Burrow. You want to be hard on Jalen Hurts, that's all good. Who else went to a Super Bowl and lost that you shit on?
He's been to 2 AFC title games too.
I don't give a shit what he's been to. He's
He's
got no bling, and his team is 0-3, and he looks terrible.
So do you think they missed the playoffs? I don't.
They just lost to the Washington Commanders.
Washington Commanders are my team to win the East.
Okay, Beasles.
Well, wait a
Shout
minute.
out to you, Luscious.
Whoa. That was my bold prediction that they would win the East.
Yo, Luscious became a legend, Big Sills. Look at that.
Get out of here.
Becoming a JAKIB legend, man. You guys are the absolute best. We got to do something for my legend people.
Lucius became a legend.
What's that?
Lucius just became a legend.
He became a legend. That's a legend right here now in the JAKIB chat. So Lucius, thank you, man, for the support of the channel. Where's my guy up here? Wayne says, explain everybody what it takes to be a member. You just hit that membership, hit that join button. The link is right there in the description to become a member. So you don't have to do it. You're going to get the content for free no matter what. But if you like our content, if you like really listening to Big Sills tell you every day that your team sucks, that your quarterback sucks, become a member and support the channel. It means a lot to us. So thank you guys. And Luscious, thank you, man. Lucius, I think it's Lucius. I'm saying Luscious. It's Lucius probably, but thank you so much, man.
Xander hears it too. I want you to be the best you could possibly be. Xander's rooting for the Sun Bowl.
No, I'm not rooting for the Sun Bowl. I'm not rooting for no Sun Bowl.
You went to Alabama, kid. Act like you're going to the national
I know.
championship.
If you go to the Sun Bowl in Alabama, you're a catastrophic failure.
We'll
I was
find
there
out
for
this
Nicky
weekend.
Saban, baby.
Hey,
what's that?
What's this weekend? Isn't it Alabama?
Georgia, Bama, man. Georgia, Bama.
That's
gonna be a hell of a football
Georgia,
game,
Bama, baby. Who you got?
Who do you think I got? I got fucking Roll Tide, baby. You know who doesn't scare me? You know who doesn't scare me at all? Kirby fucking Smart. I hate Kirby Smart. Can I just say that? I hate Kirby Smart. He is overrated. Now, his teams have been good, but talk about dudes who don't put anybody in the league that does anything. Most of his dudes that have been first-round draft picks have been bust. We're hoping that our couple first-round draft picks from them aren't bust. I think Jalen Carter is the best one, of that group, but fuck Georgia.
See how he quantified it?
What's that?
See how he quantified it? Well, our guys don't suck that bad, but hey, you got to play better.
Roll Tide, baby. Nick Saban, I miss you, Nick. By the way, Nick is doing a tremendous job on TV.
Yep.
And look,
on game day,
everybody gave him shit when he first went. And I said,
highest ratings they've had in
give Nick Saban a couple weeks. Nick Saban is one of the most dedicated human beings on planet Earth, and I have some great stories about Nick Saban of me meeting him personally. because he does a bunch of charity on the campus at Alabama, which is really great. And nobody talks about it. Nobody knows about it. They just talk about him on the side. He's really a tremendous dude. But I used to go to church on campus, and Nick would be there every single Sunday, no matter where they played on Saturday. He was there at the Alabama church every Sunday morning. So we kind of built up a nice little relationship of talking to each other and giving peace at church, which was really dope. But he's a great dude. He means a lot to that school, and he does a lot of good things, Nick Saban. So I love him, and he also brought Alabama 6 national titles. So thank you very much for that. But yeah, legendary coach. I absolutely love him.
I'll give you my small Nick Saban relationship. So when I was on QAM down in Miami, the PR guy came into my booth and was listening to me do the show. And he watched me set up Jeff Ireland. I go, Jeff Ireland, just like this. I go, hey, what would you give your roster? And it's total Howie Roseman shit. And I go like this. He goes, B. I said, so wait a minute. You guys won 5 games last year, and you give yourself a B? And he goes, well, then I go, so was it coaching? So Nick Saban calls. I want you to come down to do a remote. I went down there. Hey, he comes walking at me. And I'm watching this guy walk at me. And I think he had won a national title at LSU when he took over that Miami job. He had already won a national title at LSU, and he was at Michigan State before that. And I knew people who knew him.
Yeah, he won. That was his first title.
Yeah, he won it at LSU. He sits down with me, and anytime I wanted him on my show, he was always accessible. He was awesome. He loved Jimmy Johnson. He loved the whole Canes thing. And then when he got the Miami job, or when he got the Alabama job, the big rub with everybody in South Florida, I'm the only one that backed it. You know why? Guess who he replaced? Do you remember who he replaced at Alabama? Mike Shula. And so everyone down there was like,
my internet.
Why is he backstabbing a Shula? He hated him here, all this and that. All right. Xander, let's get these super chats before we get the hell out of here. Are you good?
My internet's going. Sorry, Sills. I don't know what's going on with it. Can you still got me? I'm good now. Yeah. Spa City, thanks for becoming a member, man. Appreciate you for that, brother. Lucius, I'll definitely hook you up with that in a second. James Jones says, Xander, Jaden Daniels, baby. Hail to the Redskins. Woo, how you doing? James, I was looking for you on Bird 365 on Tuesday morning after that game because I was giving your boy some props. He looked damn good in that game. I'll give you that. But he's got a couple games. All right, give him a little bit more time. League's gonna learn some of his tendencies. All right, though. It does seem
James,
like,
I'm rolling with you.
Yeah,
I'm rolling with you, James.
You know why Silio's gonna love up on it? Because they're in the NFC East and it's against the Eagles. So that means Big Sills is gonna crown him a champion already. He's got some ways to go, but he looks good, James. And James, if you want me to give you a hail to the Redskins, you're gonna have to become like a JAKIB legend or something, because I don't think I can just do that anymore.
Hey, James, you're gonna have to beat the Eagles this year for something like that, okay? Okay, I'll give you a hail, Redskins.
No, I'm not giving a hail to them for a win over the Eagles. Fuck that. I'm not doing that.
Hey, James didn't want to roll with me when I picked him to beat the Bengals. Come on, James. You got to roll with Big Sills.
That's true.
You got to roll with Big Sills. Do we have any more super chats? Big Sills is not a hater. I'm a truth teller.
Perez checked in.
Feed Will Shipley at least 15 times this week. I'll tell you what, I'd rather have Kenny Gainwell get the ball. I think he's looked good this year, man. I think Kellen Moore likes him too. I wouldn't mind Shipley getting some touches though today, on Sunday. Dude, I feel better about their running back room than I do their receiver room going into that game on Sunday. You know, Xander, I mean, Paris Campbell or Paris Hilton is playing. Paris Hilton is playing next to Jahan Dotson, the greatest steal in the history of the Eagles. I mean, come on, guys. Let's go with the running back room. Paris Hilton. Give me a break here. All right. Xander, where are we with the likes, my friend?
183. Got great viewership today. You guys are killing it. JAKIB Nation has been showing out the last couple of weeks. So I'm trying to do a bunch of stuff to give back to the great community that we have. And I want to thank again Lucius for becoming a JAKIB Legend member. And Terry Hayes. We got 2 JAKIB Legend members. So thank you guys. I'm going to do something special for you guys. And I'll just say this, it's going to be a lot better than a jersey giveaway for Saquon Barkley. So we're going to hook up our JAKIB Legend members. So thank you guys for supporting the channel. It goes a long way, and we appreciate that very much. Appreciate it.
We really do. All kidding aside, I know we kid with each other.
No, like I always say, I always tell you, we're not backed by
what you did earlier, Abe, you guys too, all of you guys, everybody at any level, by the way. We appreciate your support with the channel. Thank you guys so much. Marcus Hayes from the Philadelphia Inquirer. I can't believe somebody from the Inquirer is actually coming on this program, which is a stunner after certain people at the Inquirer wanted me to paraphrase things. Jander got shit from, I'm not going to say anybody, but paraphrasing.
Well, you've been on the channel for 4 years. If we want to run through all the times that I've gotten shit for your show, we could do a show for the next 48 hours. I can't do that. I can't recap all the times we've been given shit for Big Sil's show. But I think it's the best show on YouTube. And when it comes to sports, certainly the most talented person that's ever been here at JAKIB. So we love you, Big Sills, and your show's killing it, man. So keep it up.
Thank you so much for having it here, man. I appreciate being part of what we're doing here. Xander, we'll catch you in the morning on Birds 365, my friend.
Thank you, Big Sills. Appreciate it. Everybody in the chat, thank you all for your support. Catch you later, man. Absolutely. Guys are killing it here. Don't forget our great friends at BetUS. You guys are looking for a brand new sporting house. This is your place. Super time. By the way, you can get involved tonight. You've got Cowboys and Giants games in the Meadowlands tonight. Great deals going on. Our YouTube 150 special right now up to $2K. Plus, get this. Not only do you get 150% on the bonus right here for your first deposit, but your next second and third go to 125. Plus 200% in crypto bonuses are here for you at BetUS. All you have to do is log on to betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. Fastest payouts in the business, 24/7 personalized service, 365 days of the year, live wagering on all major games like tonight. My Canes play tomorrow, by the way, I believe, against Virginia Tech. Saturday games, Sunday games, Monday night doubleheader in the NFL are all there for you. BetUS.com.pa, betus.com.pa. And do me a favor, tell them Big Sil sent you.
He's blocked well and tries to cut through the middle. Oh!
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
Score and save in southeastern PA and Delaware with Colony Pools this football season, and let the experts close your pool with a custom Merlin safety cover in green for the birds. And if you join our Winter Watch team, we'll give you another 20% off, and Colony Pools will handle it all. Keep your tiles on your pool, not in your pool. Fly with Colony right now, birds fans. Visit flywithcolony.com.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in.
Decisions.
The dark.
The dark.
But I once heard someone say,
But as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid.
as long as you face the fear.
And keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, Count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
Hi everybody, my name's Jason Lombardi. I'm an inspector at DryTech. At DryTech we offer 3 major services, the first one being basement waterproofing. The second service we offer is foundation and structural repairs. And then the third service that we offer is mold remediation. If you feel you are having a waterproofing issue, give DryTech a call or check us out online.
Heading down the shore, have a ball once more.
Here, imaginations run wild and time stands still. Because here, you can find the best of the Jersey Shore, all on one 5-mile island. So leave the old you behind and get lost in the woods.
Wild, wild, wildwood days.
Plan your stay in the Wildwoods today.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Big Sil, hit the like button. I'm going to give you my player grades. All courtesy of our friend Abe, who came up with this great segment. We will do that here in a second. What you guys didn't believe? You had to hear Xander say it. You didn't believe Big Sills that the Eagles stopped Nick Sirianni from coming on the show. He had agreed. I had him scheduled to come on. And out of nowhere comes Darth Vader. Hey, you're the guy that says that Howie can't draft defensive players. Yeah, he can't. Well, why would you say such a thing? Because he can't? Well, why would you talk so negative about him? I'm talking football about him. That's exactly what I told him. Nothing personal. He just can't draft defensive guys. And he's like, well, this is negative. I went, well, if you failing to draft people with your first rounders that are good ball players and you're not drafting good players, you shouldn't be criticized. This was a back and forth. I sent him to Joe Krause and to Xander just to show you how these guys got in the way. And then like 3 weeks later, he called my bosses trying to get me fired for some bullshit he thought I said, or he made up. It was made up. The owner made it up too, I think. Right. By the way, I still have the email. Or not the email. It was a text message. I don't want to go there because that's a little bit of punching down. But, and then Jason Kelce today. Hey, Taylor, how about Jason Kelce commenting, admitting I was right for the bullshit he was talking on WIP? I mean, Nick Sirianni's a horrible in-game decision maker. And he agreed with me. But he told you something different on the air. And Xander's right. He's a mouthpiece for the team. He's not really a media guy. Now, and I'll take that back. He's going to be a media guy for other teams other than the Eagles. He'll be a mouthpiece for the Eagles, and he'll be a media person for other people. That's what it'll be. Nothing wrong with that. Difference is for me, I'm harder on my Canes. And I don't root for a team. I never have, even a team I played for. Some people go like this. Sills, we're playing the Bucs this week. So, just because I played there, they tried to get me fired. No, wait, they did. I don't care. And I like a lot of people there. Bruce Arians, all them guys. I like Jason Light a lot, actually. Hey, did you see that picture I posted of Derek Brooks and my wife and I? Let me show you this real quick. Derek Brooks did this for me. My old studio when I was in Tampa on WDAE, the flagship station, for the Bucs. Derek Brooks signed that for me. Put this in my old studio. Derek Brooks used to do a show with Big Sills, Sports Animal. Yeah. So those guys are all my friends. Plus the fact Derek Brooks went to Florida State, kind of friends with FSU guys. Okay, I mean, they're friends with Dirk Brooks. But that's not how I work. That's why we have very little friends when it comes to the business, because we're very critical. I'm more critical of the things that I love that I cover. Isn't it crazy? I'm more passionate about it. And I hate losing. Okay? I hate losing. What's Mr. Perez says? Sills is 4'5". Hey, Mr. Perez, you need a Tokyo phone book to look me in the eye, Junior. How you doing? And don't get all afraid and shit, too. As my wife would say, Big Sills could be a tad intimidating at times. Hey, make sure, Junior, you get yourself a Tokyo phone book and step on it, and then you could be like Howie. All right. Enough of that. All right. Hey, Sills, how about Mark Holmes drinking on the show? I actually thought that was an absolutely great segment. Look at this guy asking me my shoe size. 18. No, I'm no. Yeah, 18. I'm not kidding. I got a size 18 foot. What else you want to know? My girly shape? Jesus criminy. I'm now starting to feel a little bit weird. Hold on. What's your shoe size? What do you want to date? Holy cow. Excuse me, guys. I'm feeling a little bit peaked here. And I'm feeling a little, I don't know. Woo. You almost knocked me over with that one. What's your shoe size? What are you implying? Hey, Twiz, I wouldn't need to see my feet squashing you like a bug. Be like a little beetle. Squash Twiz like a beetle. Sorry, guys. I have to ban myself a little bit. Yes, absolutely. Mr. Perez, this is getting a little out of hand, so I'm going to divert this direction and get out of this thing here. Oof, boy. Abe, thank you very much. No, Forest Hill. The nickname is Big Sills Tripod Sileo. Make sure you put that in there. That's on my driver's license, tripod. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. You don't know where this show could turn at times. Sounds like true. Oh, Kevin. That's a good one, man. I know. Got to get out of here. Sills has been to too many freak offs. No. Hey, Flexin, always remember something. Never go to a place where they ask you to take your pants off. Bob Kraft, Diddy, all of them. Just remember, don't go to a place where someone tells you to take your pants off. That's just a little professional advice from Big Sills. Okay? Don't go to a place where they say, hey, you got to take your pants off. Nah, I'm out. Yeah, I'm not taking my pants off at a doctor's office either. I may drop trout, but I'm not taking my pants off. That's not working. I may have to run for my life. Yeah. And never sleep naked. That's another one. In case the house burns down, you got to have something on. No way. Oh, yeah. No way. Dude, I can't tell you how many freak show parties, man, down in Miami during the time down there. Crazy parties, man. Luther Campbell would throw. And by the way, just real quick. So I guess Suge Knight was on with Chris Cuomo. we'll move on. And he was talking about Diddy. You know, he played at UNLV with Randall Cunningham. You guys know this, right? Suge Knight was good. He was a defensive tackle. And yes, he's from Compton. He's a Crenshaw guy. I actually love him. And my wife met him. So, and I've told some of you this story. Harvey Hyde was his coach. And when I started my broadcasting career, I worked with Harvey Hyde in Vegas. And Harvey's gone on my Twitter or my X page and said, "You're welcome for me introducing you to Suge." Suge, I think at the time, was a bodyguard. I think he was a bodyguard in Vegas for the acts that would come in and perform at the casinos. Sills was a skinny dipper in Miami Beach. Nah, I couldn't do that, man. I'd be arrested. And so my wife, I go, "Don't you remember Suge would show up because he was friends? His real nickname is Sugar Bear. His name was Sugar Bear, but when he got to death row, he dropped it and obviously became just Suge. But Suge Knight, his real nickname is Sugar Bear because he played UNLV. He was a defensive tackle. And then I played against him when he was with the Rams. He was like, I think he was in camp with the Rams. But I met him in Vegas. And I actually liked the guy. You know, I know he's a crazy guy and all that shit. But, dude, he's an enormous dude. Suge Knight walks in a room. You know what's up, man. One of the reasons Ice Cube is friends with me because he knows I know Suge too. He goes, "Yeah, no, Suge knows who you are." Absolutely. Isn't that crazy? Hills, do you know Coach JB? Any chance you can bring him on? You know, I see that guy wanting to come on my program. Maybe I should try to bring him on. Sills, you signed with Death Row? Absolutely no way do you go in Death Row Records back in the day. Not me. You may not come out of there. You go to parties they had, but you don't go to them offices. Those offices were not where you wanted to be. I took my wife and we met Suge and Coach Hyde, and we had lunch somewhere in Vegas. But going to them parties, no way. I think we went to a fight. Oh, yeah, the Peter McNeely Tyson fight. That's what we did. We went to the fight together. I gotta find that. I got a card. And Suge was at the fight with us because Don King got us the tickets to that fight. Hold on. Sileo, Tyson. Ticket. McNeely. This is the one in the night when here it is. This is the night that Tupac got killed. So we had two of these tickets. I found this ticket. This is on my Facebook. And you could see this is Tyson McNeely. Suge Knight was sitting right in front of me. Look how much the ticket. $1,000. And I had 4 of them. And they were given to me by Don King. They gave me those tickets. Crazy, huh? Yeah, I know, man. I don't even know how I got here. All right. Do me a favor, guys. Hit the like button. Marcus Hayes will join us at 5:30 Eastern. And we will go through his takes on the 2-1 Philadelphia Eagles and get his spin on what he sees this weekend, too. Your buddy, Suge Knight Gangster, was involved in Biggie Smalls being killed. I don't believe that. I think Diddy killed him. I think Diddy killed Biggie. Just my opinion. Suge was in the car with Tupac, and he was shot. Where was Diddy? Look at all the shit coming out about Diddy. I think that guy had something to do with it. That's an opinion. Okay? That's my take. That guy Diddy's capable of anything. Hit the like button. Here are my grades for your team against the Saints. Thank you, Abe. RC3. Sorry, man. I think Diddy had something to do with it. Wanted it all. All right. Let's start with the offense. Lane Johnson, incomplete, obviously. He got concussion, had to leave the game. So I'll do Fred Johnson, A. What an absolutely spectacular game he played. And when you watch him, what a great game he played. Just a special game. Tyler Steen went in for Mekhi Becton. A. You know, he was the highest graded pass protection Eagle offensive lineman for the Saints game. I mean, tremendous game he played, Tyler Steen. So much so, they moved him. Did you hear this, Xander? They moved Tyler Steen into the locker room with the starting offensive lineman and the rest of the old linemen that start, and they moved him in there. They're very happy with Tyler Steen. Cam Jurgens. Dude, you're running the ball the way you're running. You're making plays. Cam Jurgens is playing Pro Bowl football right now. B+. I think Cam is everything we thought he's going to be. I think he's going to be an alternate in the Pro Bowl, mate. You know, I mean, I think he's had 3 good weeks outside of those illegal downfield things. I think he's really good, man. Landon Dickerson. He's just a solid B every time he gets out there on the field. He's so good. Okay? Seals, do you hear that Stoutland rotates starters and backups in practice with first-team reps? This is so sensational coaching. This is so sensational. That's so good. That really is. That's great coaching. Yeah, I agree. Brian, offensive line has been outstanding. Jordan Mailata. He's the most gifted athlete on the team. Jordan Mailata is the best athlete on your team. I love Jordan Mailata. Dude, the coach you have and the players that he puts in there, there's never a drop-off. The Giants can't find 2 O-linemen in 10 years to play in their O-line. And you've got 6. It's unbelievable. The Philadelphia Eagles are a factory for O-linemen. Hey, you got a broken down car? You want to get better miles out of it? You want to up it? You want to have a car that is going to be retro back to the way it looked, and you're going to sell it for 10 times more than what you get? Come to the auto body shop known as Jeff Stoutland. Because once Jeff Stoutland gets you in the body shop, it's over. Your value automatically increases. Jeff Stoutland is like going to like one of those renovation places that take those old cars, like a 66 Mustang that you found in a barn, and he fixes it and he sells it for $700,000. And you went in there, just a pile of rust. Dude, that is one of the greatest things that the Philadelphia Eagles have, is you are the factory of O-linemen. And in this league, if you're not a factory of O-linemen, you're not going anywhere. I don't care how many stars you have at wide receiver or how many stars you have at quarterback. If your O-line is not intact and stout, you will not be good. The Philadelphia Eagles, I mean, okay, Sills, I'm glad we kept Stoutland instead of hiring Cliff Kingsbury. Cliff Kingsbury's doing a hell of a job in Washington, too. I think there's a perfect, there you go, M. Reyes, Stoutland Customs. I love that. Look at Micaiah Becton, became a starter. Insane. I love that, man. What a great place to go and play offensive line. Philadelphia. Xander, what's the treat train coming down the track? What's the teat? What's the teat train coming down the track? I got it. Where's Sue? Sue, repost that. Thank you, Kimberly. Teat. I don't know what she means. Jeff turned Fred into a top 5 tackle. He'll be ready to take Lane's spot. Dude, incredible. And I can't say you're wrong, RC3. Okay? I love me some Tupac. Okay? Clip, yeah, no, hey, it worked out. Hey, wait a minute. Kyle. Kyle Stoutland is pimp my ride. Hey, Kyle, he takes a 1968. He takes a 1968. Let's see. What would you have there? Chevy Impala. Okay? Put some low riders in it. Put the dice in the mirror. You put some red vinyl in the seats, right? Put some high-lows on. Ready to roll. Get that Impala rolling. How you doing? Grandpa owned 2 of them. Italians and the brothers were in the room. We had a white Impala. We had a green one. Hey, look at Flexen. Flexen goes, I hate Impalas. Yeah, that's because you're a white guy. You're not Italian. Also put a 65-inch TV in the back, too. How you doing? Okay, Flexen. Let me continue. Dallas Goedert, A+. Great stuff. Paris Campbell. C. Absolutely. Devontae Smith. Wide receiver. Thought he did an A. By the way, one thing I'm learning right now is that Big Sills can't tell time because hey, I got to tell you here, I was thinking that we were going to do Marcus Hayes at 5:30 Eastern, but I see he's here now, and I want him now. Don't go anywhere, Marcus Hayes. He's just checking in to make sure the connection with his computer. You want to do it now? Oh, fantastic. Guys, let me tell you something. You know, Angelo Cataldi comes on the program every week. And we're proud to get Angelo on with us. And I asked him about Marcus Hayes, and I'm like, you know, we get a lot of crap from the Eagles, and my bosses get a lot of crap. They try firing me almost every other week because of some of the things I say, because I'm critical of the way that they've drafted on defense. They didn't like it. So I read Marcus Hayes because he writes with a pen that has no fear. And when you're in a city like this, that's scary. Okay? But you have to be that way. That's why people read him. I love his work. And I've been trying to get him on here for a little bit from the Inquirer. I'm glad he popped in. Let's do it now. Marcus Hayes, how you doing, man?
Hey, man. Thank you for having me. Can you hear me?
I sure can. I got you, man. I jumped the gun as always. You know, I'm always there ahead of time here, but I'm glad you can do this now here, man. Thank you so much. I admire your work.
Oh, thank you. I was just checking. I got a new computer, so not everything has transferred from the old computer. So this is the first, I think it's StreamYard that I've done
Yep.
with this computer. So I was just checking to make sure it would work. I was supposed to be on, I think, 5:30 or something like that. So I figured that would give me and Xander enough time to figure out my mistakes. But I haven't made any. So in a huge upset.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, when it comes to computer stuff, I have no idea what I'm doing. And my daughter teaches me everything about computer stuff. She's like, somebody told me the other day, she's like, Dad, when you're being bombarded, that's a good thing. I'm like, really? I thought when I'm being rated, that's good. She's like, yeah. So I'm learning so much stuff here. All right, let's get on to the team here. I mean, Marcus, what do you learn so much? What do you learn so far about the 2-1 Eagles out of the gate? Green Bay, Atlanta, obviously the Saints game this past week. And what have you learned so far about this 2-1 Eagle team?
Well, the most important thing, and it's a positive thing, is that the offensive line is just as good as it was last year. It's really, really good. And it's deep because they had 2 backups come in emergency service, and they didn't lose a beat. They were really good. The second thing I've learned is that there's a lot left with Brandon Graham, who can play defensive end and do a little bit of defensive tackle, and that when he wants to, Jalen Carter, the defensive tackle, the first-round pick from last year, can be a game wrecker. He can just destroy 2 guys, 3 or 4 times a game. And that's the stuff that Aaron Donald did. That's the stuff that Fletcher Cox did. So those are the 2 biggest positives. The thing that I'm a little bit surprised about is that Jalen Hurts seems to be making the same mistakes that he made last year that limited what the Eagles could do. He wasn't the biggest problem. Last year, the biggest problem was Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis, the other first-round defensive tackle. They ran out of gas about 2/3 of the way through the season. That was they could win with Jalen Hurts. They couldn't win because they couldn't stop the run. They couldn't penetrate up the middle. But the fact that Jalen Hurts doesn't seem to have kind of learned the lesson that you need to learn in your 3rd or 4th year, in that it doesn't have to be all you all the time, and you don't get multiple chances to make a mistake. You almost have to. You can't. Quarterbacks and starting pitchers are the most powerful people in sports because they can lose games for you. They can give games away, and a quarterback more so than a starting pitcher. So he's given opportunities away with bad decisions, not bad throws, but bad decisions. And I'm surprised that that's happened. So those are my 3 big takeaways so far.
I'm going to ask you a question here on a topic that we had. And, if you go back to when he got his contract into the start of the 2023 year, he's 13-8. He's got 26 turnovers. And if you look at it and you put the numbers aside, not that I think Baker Mayfield is some sort of superstar quarterback, but Baker Mayfield has outplayed him. I mean, Mayfield is 12-10. He's got a playoff win against him. He's thrown for 4,100 yards. He had 28 TDs. Right now, he's 6-2 when it comes to quarterbacks to interceptions. I mean, when you look at it here, here's the question. Has Jalen Hurts, in your opinion, gotten better as a quarterback since he signed that $250 million deal?
He's gotten better in one aspect, and it's recent, and it's recognizing and beating the blitz. He's gotten worse in understanding what he can't do. He can't outrun most linebackers, and he can't outrun any defensive backs. When you learn that, you start to throw the ball away or take a sack or whatever. Those are the turnover issues we're talking about. Trying to do too much. I think he's been sacked 6 or 8 times also.
Yep.
And they aren't bad. They're not offensive line sacks. That's the thing. It's and we've seen this before. We've seen, quarterback Brett Favre. He reminds me more of Brett Favre right now than anybody else. And it's really unfair because Brett Favre had the capacity to throw 40 or 50 touchdown passes. He had a great arm. He had a better understanding of the game, I think, than Jalen has. But he also lost a lot of games. He lost as many games as he won. And that is the big difference between Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers would go 2 months without throwing an interception. So, I think he reminds me more of Russell Wilson than anybody else. But Russell Wilson's football IQ was just maybe the best since Steve Young that I've seen. And he reminds, those are guys that remind me of Jalen Hurts and vice versa. Mobile guys who need to make the right decision and know what they can't do. And the more he learns what he can't do, the better quarterback he'll be.
Marcus, do you think he's a product of the roster? Because when I look at him now, outside of the fourth quarter in New Orleans, I thought he was better. And this is going to sound nuts. When Devontae was off the field because he had to spread it around more, he found Dallas Goedert rolling across the middle. Now, that's going to be a one of maybe. But to me, sometimes when you look at players, like look at Allen. Now, again, their schedule has been soft. He's performed well. He's got a tough one coming up this weekend against the Ravens. We'll find out a little more if he can win without Stephon Diggs in that game versus, say, the Jags. But how much do you look at Hurts going, I mean, when he misses a couple players on that team, that offense just falls to pieces at times, and it just doesn't look the same. How much is he a benefactor of that?
Well, we all use crutches, right? I'll tell you, like, one of my bugaboos is I'll fixate on a word for 6 months. Like one baseball season, this guy I was writing baseball with, he we read each other's stuff, see if we get beat or whatever. He's like, you got to start using the word diminished, I think it was. I was like, you're right. I used it like 500 times that season. So we all have crutches. And Jalen's crutch is A.J. Brown. It just is. That's his guy. That's the guy he trusts. The genius behind Aaron Rodgers, the genius behind Tom Brady, the genius behind whoever, Donovan was actually pretty good at it because he had to be, is that you spread the ball around. And that amplifies everything, but it also amplifies the effectiveness of your big play guys. Once you my greatest criticism of Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts since they've been together is Dallas Goedert should be a top 3 tight end. And he isn't because they choose to make him not so. And I know he's missed some time, but Dallas Goedert should be getting 6-7 targets a game. He's special. He's really, really good. He had 10 catches for 170 yards. That's been done twice since 2020 by Travis Kelce, who's the best receiving tight end, maybe the best all-around tight end ever. So that said, he needs to understand that the offense runs through him, but it has to run in more than one or two directions. So, yeah, he's a product, I think, of what they put around him every time they put stuff around him. And I think it's okay to understand that you're the 7th best player on that offense. If you think about it, both receivers are better at receiver than he is at quarterback. The running back this year, and maybe with Miles Sanders, was better than he was at quarterback. Lane Johnson clearly is better. Landon Dickerson went to a Pro Bowl. Jordan Mailata might be better. And when Jason Kelce was there, he was better. So he was the 7th or 8th best player on offense at quarterback. So certainly he's a product of that, but that doesn't mean he's bad. I think he's really good. It just means that the offense should be unstoppable. It should be spectacular. And, you only go as far as your quarterback takes you. And when your quarterback understands how the offense is supposed to work and runs it properly, and you have all those weapons and protection, it should be great. I forgot about Dallas Goedert, my guy. Yeah. He might be the 8th or 9th best player on his own offense, and he's really good.
Is Nick Sirianni a product of the roster? Because, I hear people saying this all the time to me. And I got into a back and forth on X today with Jason Kelce. He was talking to me about, and I don't know if you agree with this or not, and I'll say it and I'll paraphrase it here. I was like, he was talking about how he's a great motivator in the locker room. He's a great team speech guy. And I was like, Jason, you don't need a team speech guy, Newt Rockney speeches. What you need is an in-game decision maker and a guy who's not going to get in the way of his coaches on game day and parachute in and make some sort of half-assed decision in critical moments, like in red zone or going for points on the road when you have half your team or not a star. And I get he's going to be a company guy with that. But I look at Nick Sirianni and go, I look at him and I don't know. I just don't see a qualified guy as the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. There's nothing redeeming about him that I like that makes me go, that guy is a guy you look to, Marcus, when things go rough, and he's a problem solver. Head coaches have to be problem solvers, and I don't see that.
Jeffrey Lurie has 3 times he's hired vastly underqualified guys. Andy Reid was not qualified to be a head coach when he got hired. Doug Peterson wasn't qualified. Neither was Nick. But they were all capable of being a head coach. Not a great head coach, maybe, but being a head coach. And one of the biggest mistakes I made as a younger reporter was being so critical so early of Andy and Donovan. Both of those guys were rookies. Nick's a rookie. This is his first job. Doug's a rookie. This is his first job. Things aren't going great in Jacksonville right now, and that's kind of surprising to me, but he did well, So I think we need to give these guys a little bit of grace. And for coaches, it's as much grace as the quarterback. Because once Andy figured it out, and he had to figure it out, he's the best coach in the NFL since then. He's just spectacular. I don't know if Nick's going to have that kind of learning curve. I really thought that it was a huge mistake for him to act the way he acted last year, especially in the tunnel in Kansas City after beating them, taunting the fans. That, to me, does more harm to the team and the sort of culture that he's trying to build than any good, than any Newt Rockne speech. All of that diminishes the respect that he might be building up. But I will say this, in Jason's defense, I didn't see your X exchange with him. In his defense, these guys really like playing football for Nick. Football, as you know, is hard to play, especially in the Northeast, especially in a town like Philly. I'm talking about Northeast weather and hyper-focused, hyper-critical fans and media base. Nick does a pretty good job of taking bullets. He does a pretty good job of staying positive. He does a pretty good job of communicating. He doesn't do the perfect job, and you are preaching to the choir when it comes to the fourth down stuff. I was looking at the fourth downs that have failed and the decision, and to me the most egregious one was Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
I think it was 4th and 4, and I think they were down 3-0, something like that. Whatever it was, that was just, you kick it right there. AJ's out. That's the other thing with Nick. Like, he thinks that all things are equal with analytics. All things aren't equal. If you have 2 offensive linemen and 2 receivers out, then you have to play conservatively. You can't expect your team to function the way that they function with, 3 of your better players out, and Lane Johnson and both receivers. So I see both sides of it. I agree with you more than Jason. Nick should be a better X's and O's coach and decision maker coach, but he does have value as a rah-rah guy. And the most remarkable thing I've ever seen in sports, and I've seen 34 years of it right now, and covering big league. The first time I ever covered was Buffalo Bills. So I've been in it since I got in it. Nick Sirianni, as a rookie head coach, gave up play calling 3 or 7 games into his first season. That could be suicidal. Like, he may never get another offensive coordinator job after that. So that, to this day, carries a lot of weight with these players. And he's been consistent. And he is who he is. You are who you are. I am who I am. That's why people like us. People like him and play for him because he's authentic and he's consistent. I think sometimes the players give that too much weight, like maybe Jason did, and the X's and O's things. I think we have to let him breathe a little bit, let him live a little bit, because he's never really had to do it without A.J. Brown, who's consistently been the best player on his roster for the last 3 seasons.
So, Marcus, you're putting him on the Mike Shanahan scale, learning scale, where Mike was atrocious with the Raiders. He was just an absolute awful coach with the Raiders. He couldn't get out of his own way. He goes to Denver and he wins back-to-back world championships, and he learns a little bit. Now, it helps you have the other guy in the building and you have Terrell Davis. Right. So I get all that, but still, he understood that Elway was past his time and it had to be a running attack. So you bring Alex Gibb in, you kind of formulate your own kind of way of going about business.
Yep.
So you're saying again here that, he's in the same scale and he's on the same kind of evaluation scale of Jalen.
I don't know if he has the ceiling of Mike Shanahan. Mike Shanahan was special. Mike Shanahan was very hard to deal with. Yep. And, I don't know if you know, but he made Adam Schefter. Him and Terrell Davis made Adam Schefter. Yeah. So he was Mike Shanahan operator. He used to manipulate the injury reports and all that sort of stuff. He was a different guy. He was a lot like Belichick. He didn't win like Belichick, but he also didn't have Brady like Belichick. And Belichick wasn't good in his first act,
Right.
But I don't know if Nick has that ceiling. But I will say I've been pretty impressed with his consistency, with his energy, with his commitment, with his knowledge. We get a chance once or twice a week to sort of just chat with him, and he knows what he's talking about. Like, he knows football. He knows like why he's questioned for doing certain things. He believes in certain things, and he'll admit like, I screwed that up. And he's really good about that. He's good about that. Who else is really good about that? Nick Nurse is pretty good about that. And Nick Nurse won a title when he had a good player in Kawhi Leonard. Doc Rivers wasn't good at that. He wasn't good at saying, I screwed this up. Nick is pretty good at saying, I screwed this
John
up.
Tortorella.
And he does, right, exactly. And Nick will out himself, the coordinators, as well as the players when the team meets. You know, most head coaches don't say, and this is how I screwed this up. You know, when we were coaching it last week, I didn't tell Jalen that if you look the safety off and he turns his hips, then you can go back to the guy you looked him off for. Something like that. That's not exactly what happened, but those are the types of things that happen in team meetings with Nick. And to Jason's point, that carries a lot of weight. And I think that he has a pretty high ceiling. I don't know what it's going to be like when it comes to like crunch time, because crunch time is different. You know, we've seen Pete Carroll not give the ball to Marshawn Lynch at the one because the analytics said, you know, it's only going to work 1 out of 4 times. Well, he had 4 chances, you know?
Well, that leads into an interesting point here. So let's just say Kellen Moore gets Jalen turned around. He's playing spectacular football. He's back to being his MVP caliber type player by the end of the year. You're going to allow him to walk out the room and have another coordinator next year. Here we go with the conveyor belt of new coordinators. I've said this, come win or lose, Jalen Hurts is going to have a new coordinator in 2025 because somebody will be the fall guy for the organization, like Brian Johnson, who's, by the way, doing a heck of a job with Cliff Kingsbury with Jaden Daniels right now. That looks like a pretty good little marriage going on there because everyone knows the success that he has. That means that everyone's going to look at Nick and go, well, you said last year that was your offense, so that's your to blame for that. And everyone's going to be going, we should hire Kellen Moore as the head coach. Now, I don't know what the organization will do. Will you allow another guy like Shane Steichen to walk out the building to get another head coaching job? Or are you going to really retain Nick Sirianni? If Jalen has success, isn't that the end of Nick? Or do they not and let him roll and get him another coordinator?
Well, that's a Jeffrey Lurie question, right? Jeffrey Lurie hates to admit he's wrong. The reason Nick is still the coach here is because Jeffrey Lurie didn't admit he was wrong. It was Nick last year. Nick was the problem. And Jeffrey Lurie said, you know what? We're going to give it another go. We're going to change the parameters, and we're going to give it another go. So, no, I think if Kellen wins, Kellen walks, and they try to find another Kellen. But Jeffrey Lurie, he was, as much as he was criticized for hiring a quarterbacks coach who was not allowed to talk to the media and was untouchable in Green Bay because Mike Holmgren was scared of losing Andy Reid. As much as criticism he took for that, he's taken way more criticism for hiring Nick Sirianni. And Jeffrey has to be smart. He has to be smarter than you. He's a PhD. He has to be smarter than you. And if he fires Nick, after not firing him last year, if he fires Nick, then he's admitting he's wrong. And I like Jeffrey. And I think he's sometimes snowblind to this. But he does tend to hire pretty good. He tends to hire coaches that win.
He's never had a losing coach since he's been the owner of the team since 2000.
Yeah.
Even Chip Kelly's had a winning record. I mean, so there is something to be said with that. But again, how do you develop a quarterback with 5 different coordinators since Jalen took over the job? Think about it. It was first Nick, then it went to Shane Steichen, then it went to Brian Johnson. Then you have right now Kellen. You move on, you're going to have 5 coordinators in 4 years of starting going into his 6th year or his 5th year starting. And I got to think, I mean, how do you look at Mahomes, 10 years with Andy. Look at Jordan Love, what he's going to get. He's going to get Matt LaFleur all them years. Look at Purdy. Purdy's going to have Kyle Shanahan for a long length of time. I think there's something about having a coordinator in the building that is going to be with you. How many years did Tom Moore stick with Peyton Manning? 10 years? He was there a decade, right? Well, I think that hurts his development a little bit, don't you, Marcus?
Oh, well, absolutely. It's not great for the development of a quarterback who wasn't a very good quarterback.
Correct.
When he got here, he's had to learn a lot of stuff. What they ran in Alabama, what they ran in Oklahoma, like Carson Wentz came in way better prepared. Like you taking snaps under center, understanding route concepts and route trees and all that sort of stuff that he understood coming from North Dakota State. Jalen didn't know. Jalen still has trouble seeing things from under center, like just sort of recognizing what's in front of him. But yeah, it's a very, very fine, a very, very narrow landing strip to retain Kellen Moore and get rid of Nick Sirianni. I mean, I think the only way that happens is if Jalen goes forward and the team loses. If the team is like 10-7 and out in the playoffs, you can retain Kellen Moore, promote him, and, say goodbye to Nick Sirianni. But if they win 12 games in a playoff game, you can't fire the head coach.
No way.
And if they win those games, Kellen's going to have done a good job, and he's finally going to get his shot at being a head coach.
Absolutely. A couple more here for you. You brought something up that drives me crazy. And please, all the years you covering it, help me, because I scream at the I get so upset with this. I am a big believer in analytics too, but I'm a believer in applied analytics.
Right.
Okay. You have an analytics page when you have your play sheets and you have what plays that you're going to run. Being a coordinator is a feel for the game. But in my opinion, having Frank Reich on the program a couple of years ago, he told me that the Eagles get a lot of their game plan from the analytics department. If you notice in the Eagle organization, Marcus, there's a trend. All those guys have been in that analytics department between 15 and 25 years. When you look at the coaching staff, I mean, the 10 years, they're 3 years, 4 years. These guys are constantly revolving, but the analytics department, who the son of the owner is involved with, so you get a page and you have all the analytics. To me, it just looks like you build your game plan off that analytics instead of having a true feel for the game, because some of those decision makings that they had, to me, it doesn't look like you're applying the analytics when needed. Like you said, you got half your team out. You're on the road. You don't have AJ. Your offense has been inconsistent. The quarterback since 2023 to start has 26 turnovers. He's maybe not playing the best. He's best when he's on the move, and he's best when he's playing like 22. It just seems that they go off that sheet, and they're so aggressive to be aggressive. Doug Peterson was aggressive, but I think he was smart aggressive. When I see Nick, it just looks to me like, this is what we all talked about. I hear him say it in his press conference. We talk about this on Tuesday, Monday, and Wednesday, and I'm like, well, how do you apply that when you're on fourth down and then you go for a 60-yard field? How are you applying those analytics like that? Tell me how that whole thing works in your opinion with that organization, because it drives me crazy. I don't see a rhythm, or it just doesn't seem to be in sync.
Well, if you remember 11 years ago here, they hired a guy named Sam Hinkie.
Absolutely.
And he would refer to actual players as assets. And once you dehumanize the player to a number or a concept, then you can no longer be in charge of players, because they're human beings. They're all human beings. So I believe Nick has the capacity to understand game feel. I think he has the capacity to understand, like, who's hot right then. Okay? I don't believe he has the confidence in himself to apply it. I think that the same things that upset you, the decisions that upset you, and the decisions that I roll my eyes at, in the moment, he's not too fully convicted himself.
Is that because of experience that you talk about?
It's a personality thing. I really do. I think he thinks that I really need to go with these numbers. We have 20 people crunching numbers. We have our own, what do they call it? Their own brand of analytics, their own way of meshing the numbers and applying them. Proprietary, that's the word I'm looking for. They have a proprietary analytics system. Pretty much every team does. Vic Fangio says he has his own system that he doesn't even tell his assistants about. I think that he thinks, okay, all this work has been done and there's been so much success with it other places in general. How can I ignore this, even though I'm a pedigreed football guy from Western New York and it's all that mattered to me? And this, when I was 20 years old, would have been considered crazy. It's just, it's still kind of considered crazy, just not as crazy. And I think you just have to play to your strengths. The thing about analytics is it doesn't trust defenses. It operates independent of defenses. It operates independent of weather. It operates independent of
Momentum.
Momentum. It operates somewhat independent of game site. There are, home versus away, but you can't tell me your analytics in Sao Paulo are the same as your analytics in South Philly. It's just a different environment. So I think he and you and I, if we were sitting around a table having beers, I think we'd be much more on the same page than when the lights are on and he's got that sheet and he knows what the three options are. He feels, okay, I'm safer if I choose this option, because he doesn't want the wrath of football geek Twitter. He doesn't want the wrath of, Monday morning quarterback game, TV shows. He doesn't want them showing the numbers where it was 11%. It was an 11% better gamble to throw the ball to Saquon Barkley than it was to kick the field goal. It was 89% to 100% you're going to win. Well, 89 is pretty good. And the 100% is only if the ball is caught. It doesn't take into account the fact that it might not be caught, might be bobbled, might get you the route might be cut. It's pick six, right? So if you've got 100% here and 89% here, if the ball is caught versus kicking a field goal, if you fixate on those numbers, and he knows the cognoscenti is going to fixate on those numbers, and he's going to be an idiot. And maybe Jeffrey Lurie is going to come in after the game and point to those numbers and say, why didn't you do this? Maybe that's what's in his mind. But taking points off the board seems to be he seems to be more equipped to take points off the board this year than put them on.
See, to me, on that third down play, I'll tell you why I go the Belichick route. I'm not throwing that pass out there. Like you say, and I've heard John McMullen say it, and I disagree with this. Well, he makes the catch, he takes it in. I'm not playing the player's ability. I'm playing the one loss, the ratio here. What is the worst thing that can happen in that moment? You give Atlanta another timeout when you do that. To me, my enemy at that moment wasn't my enemy wasn't the Falcons, it was the clock.
Right.
I wanted the clock to go down. If you run it, you run another. You could have done this, Marcus. You could have ran the ball, ran the 25 seconds off. Then you could have lined up on fourth down. You had another timeout left. And you could have ran it, called the timeout, ran another 15 seconds off the clock. You would have put them in an even tougher position to have to make a play for the end zone. I know, look, they went right down the field, but you would have given them lesser time. And from what I understand, when you're game planning with over a minute, there's a different mindset when you're going for the last second drive versus when you're at 50 seconds or 40 seconds going to try for a game-winning drive. For me, I'm taking the Belichick route. I'm taking the for sure thing. I'm getting the points. I'm killing the clock because I'm killing two stones with one rock here in this moment. That, to me, is what I'm talking about, a feel for the game. And you didn't have AJ. I mean, all of that plays into it. And so you have to think yourself through those moments, I think. And sometimes I just don't see it.
Well, again, I think you have to live them too. One of the things that
That's
you
great.
understand,
Yes.
one of the things that you understand that a bunch of our viewers probably don't understand is how fast it is on the sideline.
Oh,
a lot of guys stay up in the booth. A lot of coordinators go up to the booth because it's slower in the booth than on the side. You don't have anybody yelling at you. It's quiet. You can think. All you hear is the headset. It's a much calmer environment than being on the field. Nick's on the field. Nick's yapping, and he's listening to this guy, and he's yelling at the ref, and and that's the other thing about Nick. Like, I think he allows himself to be distracted on the field. If you think about the great, great coaches, Shula, Landry, Reed, Belichick, not Parcells, he was kind of a nut. Walsh. Nothing. They were in their bubble. They understood what was going on, but they did not let the moment carry them away. And very rarely are great coaches. There are a lot of really good coaches who are like that, but very rarely are really good coaches wild men. Very rarely. Marv Levy, who I think was a spectacular coach. You know,
Look at Dungy. Look at how Dungy handled
Tony
himself.
Dungy. You didn't even you'd have thought Tony Dungy was coaching a fifth grade girls flag football game.
Never too high, never too low. He comes on the show all the time, and I love him from my time in Tampa with him. And one of the greatest things I'll ever hear somebody say, all these guys were talking, and John Lynch said this: they were 0-8, and they were in the locker room. This is when Dungy was turning the culture around. This shows you what you're saying here. He goes like this. He goes, Coach, we're 0-8, and he goes, see, you guys look at 0-8. I look at you. You're right here.
Mm-hmm.
You're this close. And it just brings a sense of confidence when you see a coach like that. Okay, coach, like Coach Tomlin is my favorite coach. You see a guy like that on the sidelines. I don't know if do you feel that way with Nick? When you look at Nick, does he exude confidence that he's going to win you a game?
I believe he gets swept up in the moment more than a coach should be swept up in the moment. Honestly, he and Jalen need to flip personalities. They need to Freaky Friday, That's what they need to do. Jalen needs to be more like Nick. Nick needs to be more like Jalen, because the antics, like the worst thing he did off the field was the tunnel thing. The worst thing he did on the field was he yelled at Hassan Reddick coming over to the sideline. Get the bleep back on the field. You can't talk to your worst player like that, much less a guy who's, setting sack records for the team. That, to me, I don't know if you remember that instance, but if you see it, like if you go back and look at the film, look how Devontae Smith looks at Nick Sirianni in that moment. Devontae Smith, who was Nick Saban's guy, right?
Yeah.
So that Jalen Hurts, also a Nick Saban guy, is thinking, what is this guy doing in this moment? This isn't what we need from him in this moment. We need the opposite of this in this moment. So, again, I think we gotten off the path here a little bit, but it'll be interesting to see how Nick comports himself on and off the field going forward. Like, he came off the field on Sunday, reloaded for bear. I called that 4th and 1 play. That was me. It wasn't Kellen Moore. So if there's any questions, yada, yada, yada. Monday, he's asked about that and other things. I'm not going to talk about, every day, every time we talk, I'm not going to talk about my 4th down decisions. And I'm like, dude, that's your entire job. The only reason we're talking to you right now, we're not talking about kneeling for the flag. We're not talking about rules. We're not talking about complaints or officials. We're talking about actual play calls in the game that you are making. This is the only thing you can't not talk about. This is the only thing you have to talk about. This is it. You can BS us with injuries. You can deflect whatever you want to deflect. But if you make a play call, the reason you're having a press conference is to talk about the play call. That's it. That's your entire job as it relates to us. Personnel decisions and play calls. That's it. So I said that to say, I don't know that his nature is changing the way that it maybe needs to. The maturation level is changing, because that's just a silly thing to say.
Yeah.
You can't say, I know everybody's talking about these play calls that I'm telling you I made, but I'm not going to talk about them. I'm not going to talk about them every week. Yeah, you are. That's the only thing we want to talk about. That's the only reason you're having the press conference.
Finally. Help me out on this one here. Man, you're awesome. I appreciate you doing this for me. Thank you for all the time here. And this last one here. I've said this. Tell me if I'm wrong, Marcus. I look at Howie Roseman, and I look at how that organization builds defense. I went back in your history, and I looked at the Eagles, and I said, when's the last time they drafted an all-pro corner? It looks like they have a really nice guy right now. When's the last time they've drafted in the last 5 years a Pro Bowl anybody over on defense? Look at the linebackers. The edge rushers are atrocious. Every time he needs something, he doesn't go into the draft because he fails. Nolan Smith looks like nothing. Then he goes out and does a project with Bryce Huff, who I said had 480 snaps last year, and he was a situational pass rusher. He's not a 3-down guy. He'll never be a 3-down guy. This is his 6th year in the league. You're not going to reinvent that. So I turn around and look at Howie and his job at tooling that side of the defense. And I say to you, Marcus, I mean, since when is that guy a personnel guy for defensive football players? Can you name me a guy in the last 5 years that you go like this, That guy's a really great football player that they've evaluated. Now, again, it looks like Quinyon can be that guy. He looks like he plays the role, and I'm pretty happy with where he is. But I don't see anything over on that side of the ball. And people will go, what about Jalen Carter? Well, what aggravated me about the game last week was that that's what he should be, not what he can be. And I want to see that in Green Bay, Atlanta, Tampa Bay. I want to see it like my old teammate and a guy who played like this, Jerome Brown. That's who I want to see. I want to see a guy like that. That aggravates me more than it does make me feel good because that's what he should be. How do you look at Howie Roseman building that defense and how he has they're a top-heavy team. Offense, no defense.
You're right. Okay? You're right. He has a blind spot when it comes to defensive line drafting. Okay? And that's where they're going to spend the first picks on defense all the time. This year was an aberration where they spent their first 2 picks on defensive backs. That said, they haven't been in a great situation to draft top defensive back, guys they thought were going to be top defensive backs in a long time because they've been pretty good. And those guys tend to go pretty high. Number one. Number two, I think we need to give Carter some grace. Jalen Carter needs some grace as well. He's played 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 NFL football games, and he's been pretty good in about 11 or 12 of them.
Yep.
It's not bad.
Agreed.
Okay? And trust me, Jerome wasn't, plug and play.
No.
He wasn't just add water. And he had a guy on his hip who was, I consider, the best defensive football player in history in Reggie White. So,
and Buddy.
That's not to diminish Jerome.
And Buddy.
Fletcher Cox needed about 20, 25 games to get going. So we don't know about Jalen. But to your point, Josh Sweat should be better, especially if you're going to sign him to an extension. Nolan Smith has to contribute right away. Hassan Reddick was an absolute slam dunk home. Even if Hassan Reddick is only a third-round pick for you the third year, you got your money's worth out of Hassan Reddick. That's a great Howie home run.
30 sacks in 2 years, counting the playoffs. Come on now.
And, who's the guy that played next to Fletcher during the 70 sack year? Just got hurt in San Francisco. Defensive tackle.
Linval Joseph? Oh, no.
No.
Hargrave.
Yvonne
Hargrave.
Yvonne Hargrave. Home run shot by Howie. But you're right. They put a lot of assets into the defensive line, and they've only had really good defensive lines maybe twice. Fletcher Cox to me is a Hall of Fame player. Howie didn't draft him, Andy did. So it's just it's a blind spot. That said, Howie is a spectacular evaluator, I think, of offensive line talent, of all things.
Is that him or Stoutland?
Okay, whatever. I don't think it's him with anybody, but he has the final say.
Brought Stoutland in.
Yeah, God bless him. Bring Stoutland in. Jim Schwartz, if you want to.
Okay.
Jim Schwartz kind of operated autonomously, So yeah, I believe that. But they all get how he gets stamped with all of them. How he gets stamped with Carson. How he gets stamped with Jalen. Right.
Okay.
He's been really good at evaluating offensive line and tight ends. He's
that organization
really tight
has always been good at tight ends.
First round. So he has his strengths and his weaknesses, and we kind of all do. The reason, Ron Wolf and Tom Donahoe didn't, general manage the Packers and the Steelers to their deaths is because they weren't perfect either. Ozzie Newsome, everybody has a blind spot. Everybody has a weakness. How he does, and I don't mean to damn him with faint praise or perpetuate the stereotype. How he does spectacularly well for a guy who never played football.
Yeah, no.
Most of these guys.
He comes from the cap end of everything, and now he's in personnel. And to your point, Marcus, Darius Slay move was excellent. I think he does a really good job at pro personnel, finding guys like Gardner Johnson. I'll tell you what, as much as Bryce Huff looks like it's a bust, if this Zach Ball guy can play the way he plays, anything like that on a consistent basis, man, I think you cover that loss there because this guy was a nobody with the Saints, and you found him on a roster. So I think he does a pretty good job of that. Look at Bradbury. Whatever you want to say, he had a Pro Bowl year in 22. The Giants cut him. So he finds these guys in the pro side.
He's the guy that hired Jim Schwartz. He's the guy that hired Vic Fangio. He's the guy that, stumped for Brian Johnson, the quarterback's coach that helped that helped Jalen the first couple of years. So he's really good. And it's funny because we had one of those roundtable things at the Enquirer. People came in, they sat down, and it was Mike Sealski, my colleague, and I, and with the moderator. And the moderator, after we had a couple of questions, says, this was, I think, 2018, like the spring of 2018. So they said, have you ever written a column that you regretted writing, where it turned out you were dead wrong? I was like, yeah, last February I said fire Howie Roseman. And then the next January I was writing a column where, touting him for executive of the year. But if you look at what happened in 2016, it was a tire fire.
Oh,
they'd hired Doug Peterson, who was a kind of a disaster. They'd eaten all this money from Sam Bradford and Chase Daniel. It was just kind of a mess, right? And then a year later, Nick Foles is signed for ungodly money for a guy who's never been very good as a backup. And I was just totally proven wrong. So I've been very invested and involved in the addition of Howie Roseman, 22 years ago, and his maturation. I was very close to Joe Banner, who always thought that Howie was going to be great. And one of the things that Joe Banner did was he consistently hired people who he thought could take his job. He would never hire anybody who he didn't think would one day be good enough to do his job. He only hired the absolute best people. And that's why the Eagles have such a strong foundation, because Joe was very, very secure in himself and understood that the best way to build any organization is to hire the best people, even if those people might usurp you one day. And that's exactly what happened. That said, Howie's really, really good at his job. He's not perfect. He's not the perfect representative for the team. He's sensitive to things. He kind of flies off the handle sometimes. And he's not beloved in the league, but he's good at his job.
What do you see this weekend? Buccaneers, and now here, check this crew out: Paris Campbell, Jahan Dotson, Johnny Wilson, and you got Goddard, you got Barkley. You're going to be going in against Todd Bowles. Now
you don't even have Britton. You don't even have Britton Covey.
You don't even have Britton Covey. That's right. I mean, you're going. I'll tell you what this does do, though, Marcus. This puts us back in that conversation at the beginning of the interview, where you go like this: hey, Mahomes and Allen, they don't need guys around them to win ball games. Isn't this kind of like hey, Jalen, this is why you're the guy here too. You're not going to have all your security blankets. I thought he was great in the fourth quarter against the Saints. Now you're going to need 60 minutes of that. I could come out of this game this weekend if they pull a win off, Marcus, going like this about Hurts. Hey, man, this guy had nobody out there. And he went out there, and just like with Bush up in Buffalo, or you have Kelce in Kansas City, what have you, Rashid Rice, this guy went out there with limited talent and won.
I got to tell you,
that's a good coach.
I got to tell you, for me, it's a referendum on Kellen more than anybody else.
Okay.
Because Jalen in 2020, after the 2021 season, 2022 playoffs, and last year in Tampa, he was just embarrassed by Todd Bowles. Like, you could almost see him in tears. And Todd, he was here for a bit. He was like the defensive coordinator after they got rid of Juan Castillo, I think, that year, crazy year. He was here for a bit, and I got to know him a little bit. He is an absolute killer. He has no mercy. He is incredibly detailed, and if he has the personnel, he's going to tear you up. This, to me, is a referendum game for Kellen, because he doesn't have those weapons. He has to understand. He has to know what he can ask his offense to do. The other thing about this, you asked me in general what I think about this weekend. They're going to get about 4 inches of rain, including Sunday, game, because the Hurricane Helene is making landfall, I think, tonight. And they're not going to get the storm surge predicted for like Tallahassee, but Tampa's going to be really, really wet Sunday afternoon. And it's going to rain another inch Sunday. That's the forecast anyway. So if the ball's in the air a lot, if Jalen's in the backfield a lot, It's going to be a quagmire. It's going to be a heavy ball. You're going to be throwing it to guys who aren't used to catching, period. Certainly not used to catching heavy balls. And I just think it's going to have to be like a 15-12 win if the Eagles win. And if Jalen has a couple more turnovers, I see it being like 25-10 Tampa Bay. It's going to be a close Eagles win or a Tampa Bay semi-blowout because, but your guy Baker Mayfield, he understands how to not lose games. I'm not sure Jalen understands that yet.
Can I sneak one more in on you?
Sure, yeah.
Have you been surprised by Saquon Barkley? Because for me, Marcus, he never lived up to being the second pick when he was in New York. I know the circumstances. Dave Gettleman was a train wreck. Joe Schoen doesn't look like he's any better right now. They've never had but one offensive lineman at any time. Daniel Jones buyers regret already with that thing. So, man, I'll tell you something. I don't know if he can handle the workload that he has right now. He's on pace for 400 carries. But, boy, I'll tell you what, man. That guy is in my MVP top 5 for the league. I mean, you'd be hard-pressed to find anybody else that's playing better ball than him. Have you been surprised?
Astonished. Like I was a huge Barkley fan coming out of college. I thought he was going to be the next. And by the next, for me, it's like LaDainian Tomlinson or Marshall Faulk, but better, stronger, bigger, faster, whatever. I couldn't wait to see what he was going to do. And he got hurt. And we do a lot of Giants work. We'll go up to the Giants before the Giants game during the week, and we'll go up to Giants games on the bye week and stuff. So we're pretty familiar with the Giants here in Philly, and their offensive lines have just been laughable. And one of their offensive linemen is on the Eagles practice squad now, and he was asked about Saquon. He's like, "Yeah, I can't wait to see what he does with a good offensive line." Now this guy played like 17 games with Saquon. He was talking about himself. It was my favorite part of the preseason. He was like, yeah, those offensive linemen were horrible. Present company included. So I will say, like, it's remarkable how effective a guy like Saquon can be when he's running behind guys who know their business. Just being talented and getting to your guy or whatever is one thing. These offensive linemen really know their business. They block for like 6 or 7 seconds all the way through. Saquon is patient enough. He'll do that. He'll see the hole close. He'll cut back knowing the next hole is going to open. He's a really bright runner. He's shiftier than I thought he would be at this point in his career. He's more explosive than I thought he would be at this point of his career, and he's smarter than I thought he'd ever was, because I didn't see him play very often, and there just wasn't a lot there. So, yeah, I'm surprised he's this good, but I don't think he is. Like, he knew he was this good. If he gets through this season healthy, no matter what the numbers are, it probably will be the greatest season a running back has ever had as an Eagle. He is easily the most talented running back the Eagles have ever had. And he's only played 3 games.
Wow.
I mean, the things he does, like Ricky
More than Shady.
Ricky Waters is probably second, right?
Ricky Waters, okay.
And LaShawn McCoy is probably third. But this guy does things Ricky could never do and LaShawn could never do. He does everything both of them can do, bigger, stronger, faster. And Ricky was great. Like, people forget how good Ricky was. Those offensive lines were as bad as the Giants' offensive lines. And Ricky went to, I think, 2 Pro Bowls and was like Rodney Peete and Ty Detmer and were his quarterbacks. So Ricky was special, like really special. And he's better than LaShawn McCoy. And this guy is better than both of them.
Before you get out of here, I got to show you this because you do some work with the Giants. My uncle's this guy. Robistelli.
Is that right?
Yeah. This is his a Hall of Fame or Ring of Honor jersey,
right?
That they put up there for him. And when he passed away, it was passed down to me that I got Robistelli, one of the only MVPs. And he's the guy that introduced me to Chuck Bednarik. And what a kook that was, meeting Chuck Bednarik back in the day. One of the greatest fan bases I've ever worked in front of has to be this Philly fan base, because one day they're like this. Hey, man, we love you to death. The next week it could be this. Hey, where are we going here?
Well, the thing about Philadelphia, and I'm a transplant. The thing about Philadelphia compared to other Northern New York. I grew up
Okay.
about 2 hours north of Syracuse.
Got it.
So I actually grew up when I was a kid. I was a Cowboys fan because they're on TV all the time. But once I got to college, I didn't care. But the thing about this fan base is it's kind of like the Red Sox and Yankees.
Yes.
And in that, it's the only thing that matters to this fan base.
Yeah.
And they're never indifferent. They're never ambivalent. The Yankees and Red Sox fan bases are never – Phillies fan base gets ambivalent, indifferent, you know. This fan base, there are only 3 fan bases that I can think of that are like this, totally invested, year-round, no matter what. It's the Red Sox, the Yankees, and the Eagles.
Yeah.
The Cowboys maybe, but Texas people are kind of weird.
Hey, those Bills fans are pretty nuts up there too about that.
They
team.
are, but if the team's not great,
okay,
they'll fade away.
hide.
Right.
Okay.
But the fan base here in Philadelphia, it's more like a religion than any other football team I know. And it's the only 2 fan bases I've been able to compare it to are the Yankees, who had doldrums but still drew. Like they built that stadium, I think, when the team wasn't great, right? And then and the Red Sox, who just draw. And it is you get 70-year-old grandmas out there with the scorebook because they've been to all 81 games that year, you know, and they're keeping score every inning. So yeah, it's a great fan base for you and me, especially doing this job. Spectacular fan base for me covering the Eagles, and totally invested and demanding, but also, you know, pretty pretty appreciative, especially when the team has personality. They love personality. The Phillies had the 5th or 6th highest highest attendance in their history, and they haven't won anything because the fan base likes the players. And I think that says something about the fan base. You have to pay attention to be affectionate.
You think this fan base has more appreciation for Gang Green or that 17 Super Bowl when you talk about personalities? Because Reggie White, Jerome Brown, Seth Joyner.
Personality-wise, by far, Gang Green. By far, Gang Green, personality-wise. They love the fact that they won, and they appreciate – well, if you polled –
But they remember that Gang Green more, right?
Right. If you polled fans right now, they would tell you Buddy Ryan's a better coach than Doug Peterson. I mean, it's a sickness, you know, but it is what it is, you know.
I love it. Marcus, thank you so much for spending so much time with me, man. I had so much fun, man. I hope we get a chance to do this again. I love reading your stuff, and I say this about you too. You have the fearless pen. So I appreciate this so much. Thank you again. I hope we can do it again, my friend.
All right. Let me know. I'm at your service.
Thank you so much. Marcus Hayes from the Philadelphia Inquirer. I absolutely love that. That was fantastic. Hit the like button. By the way, we say this to you guys with Wes Hopkins. Absolutely. Absolutely. Look at I'm awake are you. Wow, a good segment. What's that mean? Don't forget our friends at BetUS. You're looking for a new betting house. BetUS is your place. BetUS is your one-stop place during this football season, especially like tonight. Our good friends at BetUS have teamed up here with us here at JAKIB to give you an opportunity this year to have one of the absolute best times. Our YouTube 150. Let's get this. YouTube 150 up to 150%, up to $2K that you can put a deposit down on, 200% in crypto bonuses. Also, your second and third are 125% bonuses there for you when it comes to going up and getting yourself some great bets here like tonight, Cowboys and Giants. Like Canes play tomorrow, college football on Saturday, pro football on Sundays. BetUS.com.pa. That's BetUS.com.pa. Fastest payouts in the business. 24/7 personalized service, 365 days of the year. Live wagering on all major games. BetUS.com. That .pa. BetUS.com.pa. And do me a favor. You tell them Big Sil sent you.
He's blocked well and tries to cut through the middle. Oh!
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
Score and save at Southeastern PA and Delaware with Colony Pools this football season, and let the experts close your pool with a custom Merlin safety cover in green for the birds. And if you join our Winter Watch team, we'll give you another 20% off, and Colony Pools will handle it all. Keep your tiles on your pool, not in your pool. Fly with Colony right now, birds fans. Visit flywithcolony.com.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in,
Decisions,
the dark.
the dark.
But I once heard someone say,
But as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid
as long as you face the fear.
and keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
Hi everybody, my name's Jason Lombardi. I'm an inspector at DryTech. At DryTech we offer three major services, the first one being basement waterproofing. The second service we offer is foundation and structural repairs. And then the third service that we offer is mold remediation. If you feel you are having a waterproofing issue, give DryTech a call or check us out online.
Heading down the shore. Have a ball once more.
Here, imaginations run wild and time stands still. Because here, you can find the best of the Jersey Shore, all on one 5-mile island. So leave the old you behind and get lost in the woods.
Wild, wild, wildwood days.
Plan your stay in the Wildwoods today.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Big Sills National Football Show. Appreciated Marcus Hayes coming aboard with us. We're going to save Angelo for Monday. I got a feeling. I don't know. Sills, who are you? It's Thursday. Where are you leaning? Hey, did the injury report come out yet? Did the Eagle injury report, Xander, come out yet? I don't know. No AJ. No Devontae. It's going to be raining. What was that? Did they put that bad puppy out there yet? That injury report. Let me see what we got going here. Here for the Eagles here, man. Let's see here. Injury report. Oh, let's see here. No, they haven't put it out yet. No, it didn't get listed. Oh, wait. Here it is. A.J. Brown did not participate. Lane Johnson did not participate. Devontae Smith did not participate. Milton Williams, limited participation. Micaiah Becton, limited participation. Landon Dickerson's on this thing? Wrist? Okay. Full participation. All right. Darius Slay. Look at that. Like a mass unit. Hold on here. Hey, I'm not. Whoa. What does this mean, relax, Sills? What are you saying here? Sills, I remember a couple of days ago, you laughed when Jason Cole called this defense stout. I know he gave me shit on my text message, too. I told you they'd stop him. How about Jimmy Johnson called the defense stout Sunday also? Get the stout over 4 quarters. Come on, Des the Joe. Okay? Well, wait a minute. Why did you not correct your guess when he said Howie hired? Howie Roseman didn't hire him. Chip Kelly brought him in. That's why he was wrong. Senor, Jeff Stoutland hired was hired by Chip Kelly. That's a fact. He hired him from the University of Miami, actually. No, wait. Did he hire him from Alabama? That's right. Bama hired Stoutland from Miami because he was the interim head coach at the University of Miami. Okay? See, here, get this. So Senor wants me to be hey, just because I'm an asshole to you, Senor, that doesn't mean I'm going to be an asshole to my guest. I actually like my guest. Oh, Senor. I know you're just smiling and nodding. Senor's a guy that likes to shit on everybody all the time. Hey, honey, dinner sucked. Oh, I'm an asshole now. Hold on here. Correcting your guests so they don't mislead us. Oh, well, you're used to being misled. Until Big Sill showed up, half of you guys thought that the coaches made decisions on that staff. Now you know they don't. You're welcome. Get the media room. Oh, wait. Get the needle room early. Then extra time in the tape room. Then a shot of B15. You mean B12, don't you? B15? I've never had that before you go out. Sills, you love us. You can't talk back to your family like this. Hey, wait a minute, Jack. That's why I do talk to you like this. Because I wouldn't talk to stiffs. They couldn't handle it. Okay? You know this. I would never talk to people outside of our show like this. But you know why I can? Because we all do it. Nobody has their panties in a bind. Except maybe Twiz or Senor. All right? Remember. Okay? Stop moaning. We don't like moaners. We don't like moaners. Damn, Senor. Oh, no. He lost his son. That is terrible. Who? Seals, 2 potential edge rusher trades. Could be Jalen Phillips and Payne. Hey, how about if the Cincinnati Bengals, if they go 0-4, they go 0-4, would you trade Trey Hendrickson? They're not giving that guy $25 million. Absolutely not. By the way, that's right, Takeem. You got it, Takeem. It's all love. I love the fact that we can do old school sports talk here. Nobody gets their shit in a bind. I love it. Okay. Hey, don't forget this. Xander's pimping something here for us. Okay. Okay, so make sure you check out the show right after. We appreciate that. Marcus Hayes says that anytime he needs me, you need me, let me know. Isn't that crazy? He goes like this, I didn't know what to expect, but I really enjoyed it. Thank you. It's like you guys. It's like you guys. Senor, who you got tonight first? The host of the show after you. His son died last week unexpectedly. Oh, that's horrible. Oh, man. God forbid. Hey, prayers go out to his family, man. Prayers up, Pat. Whew, tough. Man. God bless. Say a prayer for you tonight, brother. I'm on my knees. Who do you got tonight, Senor? What you guys got? Giants 24. Giants 24. Dallas Cowboys 20. Senor's got the Gigantes. Can't root for the Cowboys, can you? Yeah. Stills, tonight we got a New York Giants versus the Dallas Diddlers. Senor 24/7 Giants. Giants 24-21. Xander, who you got tonight, brother? Look at this. There's nobody with the Cowboys. Nobody's. Oh, that's right. Xander already said it. Cowboys 31-17. Here's who I got. Cowboys win big, 34-14. I know you'll kill him for that, Xander. That's his score. 27-9. Couch Boys. G-Nats 24. Okay, here's what I got. It's in the Meadowlands. Is it good weather there or bad weather? Is it raining up there right now or no? They have no running game, New York. Then again, the Cowboys have no running game. The Giants got a better front four. They could stop the run. Their DBs are trash, though, in New York. It's overcast. Thanks, I'm awake. Are you? I got to say the Cowboys win. 36-10. MetLife's terrible. It's the ghost of Jimmy Hoffa. I got 36-10 Cowboys because here's what's going to happen. Come Monday, this is what you're going to hear. Oh, my God. Did you see the Cowboys? They're back at 2-2. Holy shit. You don't ever really – and you're going to be like fool's gold again. The Dallas Cowboys will have fool's gold. Mark Holmes will be – and God forbid the Eagles lose. And if the Eagles lose because of injuries, they would lose. Then you would have 2-2 Eagles and 2-2 Cowboys. And oh my God, the Eagles are in such a different place right now, roster-wise, than the Cowboys. The Cowboys have no chance of getting better. You understand that. The Eagles do. The Eagles have a chance on getting better by the end of it. The Cowboys don't. They don't have a chance on getting better. We them boys going to the Super Bowl. I pulled my eye out before. I root for the Cowboys. Angelo, I pulled my eye out. Oh my God. All they got is lamb, Sills. Akbar, I agree. Cowboy fans are nervous. They should be. After that performance they had last week, they should be. Giants are the worst team in the league since Dalton took over for Carolina. Gotcha, Jess. Sills, you think Mark is already drinking? I'll tell you this. Mark will be wasted by the next time. He'll probably post a pregame video for the game tonight. But I guarantee you by the end of it, he's all liquored up. Dimes Jones outshines a $60 million quarterback. Giants due for one. Dak's never lost to them. I don't think Dak's lost to them. Looking forward to Cowgirls to implode. It's Wayne. Holy cow. Hey, man. You know what's funny? I tell you guys this all the time. When I grew up, I never thought the Eagle and Cowboys were the rivalry. I always thought it was Giants and Eagles. But I think maybe that shows my age. I grew up, I always thought it was Eagles and Giants because that's the oldest rivalry that I can remember for football. I mean, even Giants and Washington Redskins back then, it was always Giants and Giants and Eagles when I grew up. And I guess the Cowboys got, when the Eagles started, when Vermeil got there, kind of maybe changed when Vermeil got there. But when I was a kid, it was always the Giants and Eagles for me growing up. I mean, I'm crazy. Okay, guys, fantastic stuff today. Marcus Hayes, thank you. Make sure you go back and check it. Make sure you check out Xander on the next show here, man. We really appreciate you guys hanging around. Thank you for all the super chats. Friday will be a football Friday. We'll give you our prediction. Buccaneers and Eagles, all the rest of the games as well. Have a great night tonight. Joe, Xander, we appreciate it. 2 to 6 tomorrow. We'll see you on the flip side.